Take 5.
Greetings and welcome, clobberers and clobberettes, to CLOBBERIN Times CLOBBY'S Clubhouse number. Okay, I can't tell the number because I forgot to look at it, but it's a number for sure. That I can tell you.
369.
No, I was talking about the clubhouse number.
1069.
Again, the clubhouse number.
What's the clubhouse number?
No, the number of
34.
clubhouse.
34.
There you go.
Oh,
There we go.
34.
You covered it all. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. And welcome to our Thursday night.
Whee!
Well done. Good to see you all, my friends. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Our great chief engineer will join us shortly. He is currently indisposable or something. He's disposable. I don't know exactly what it is. Nah, we're kidding. We'll dispose of him later, I promise. But welcome you all. It's great to see you all. I'm here, of course, with the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. Thank you for being here. You magnificent number one, you.
I love you. Thank you for having me. It's such a great pleasure to be here with you tonight.
Well, it's great to have you here. Going to have a lot of fun tonight, folks, talking about, well, as wouldn't you like to know? Well, you might know eventually. Show notes. Okay, let's do a little bit of the show note thing.
Do it.
Here we go. Iconicon 2 Electric Boogaloo. I am so proud to be participating in the great Iconicon from the extraordinary Retro Blasting channel. 10th anniversary to them. My wonderful friends Michael and Melinda of Retro Blasting, of course, put on a spectacular event last year, online event called Iconicon. I was pleased to be part of that, and I'm pleased to be part of this one that will be June 30th, 22.
Dun,
9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern time. And looking forward to that. Of course, as time gets closer to that, I'm looking forward. We will get ready and we'll talk a little bit more about it. And the whole, we'll get the whole schedule up for Iconicon because we got so many amazing panels. It's just going to be incredible. If you're an 80s kid, especially, of course, even if you're not, if you just like to learn about all the cool geek stuff of the 80s and even into the 90s a little bit here and there as well. But for the most part, it's just great comics, cartoons, toys, other bits of pop culture. They're gonna have a great panel coming up about the restoration of Star Trek: The Motion Picture with, I think, one of the gents who worked on it. They got all kind of great stuff. And then, of course, Saturday night, my wonderful first officer and I will be here for another edition of Saturday Night Star Trek. 4 more episodes. How did that happen to Wesley? I don't know. I can't imagine. So, anyway, let us begin with some hellos. because it's so good to have you all here with us tonight. And we'd like to acknowledge our friends, of course, the great Eric K is here, the Bronze Wrencher. What's up, buddy?
Mwah, 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 mwah. Sending millions of kisses for your face.
All from her, none from me, I promise.
Clubby, you know
what?
You want to kiss Eric.
No. Also, I would like to shake Eric's hand, and of course, you know, cry on his shoulder for all the times he's been mean to me. Phantom Outsider, what's up, Fanty?
Phantom Outsider.
The other master of great wrenchness, Chris Persia. What's up, my friend?
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sending millions of kisses for your face.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here. The Comic Relief Crusader. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Well, got a lot of. Okay, J-Man, dude. Yay, barky dogs. Don't worry, we love the barky dogs. J-Man and Decepticon. Cool to see you, buddies. Sorry, I hope you're still here. I have my chat backed up a while. You guys had a great show tonight. I got to hear as much as I possibly could. Then I had to go be on with. I don't want to shout out to the great Tom with Midnight's Edge because I had a good time being on there as a guest, as I am often on Thursday nights. But I also love J-Man's show that he does about 90s comics and many other things. Please go to his channel and subscribe. He and Sean do a magnificent job. It's good to see you guys. And Rob Layfield sucks, but that's okay.
Love you guys. I'm going to mute now because the dogs are barking because the neighbors are being loud.
Uh-oh. But she's there, folks. Yeah. Could not be reached for that comment. Hello. Gwagnar. Hey. Good to see you.
Gwagnar.
Hey, Gwagnar. Kal-El, buddy. What's up, Super One?
The real soup.
Indeed. Oh, man, this damn thing jumps on me. Sorry, everyone. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. That's 70s.
Dag, ding, dong. Sorry.
That's 70s, the rock fan. What's up, 70s?
Kamloops.
What's up, Kamloops? I still don't know what that means, but I don't want it to explain to me either. Just Joe, what's up, buddy? Jobber. Yes. Oh, thanks, Sean. I'm looking forward to that panel as well. All right. Electric Boogaloo is one thing, but Sean, I'm going to have to put you in the penalty box because Iconicon 2 Cruise Control. Boy, Speed 2 Cruise Control was a terrible movie. And if J-Man likes that movie, he is in big trouble.
Oh, no.
J-Man, you better not like that one, dude, or I'm gonna have to
J-Man, duck.
Threaten you.
Duck.
I'm gonna have to threaten you somehow. I don't know.
Duck.
Hungry for bad writing to take a back seat. Hungry boy.
Hello, sweetness. Nice to see you. Looking forward to chatting and visiting with you tonight.
Good to see you there, buddy. Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Hey!
What is up, my friend? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, let's see here. Captain James T. Skywalker.
Dun 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 dun.
Christopher said, Clobby, just because Rob Liefeld drew tiny feet and baby teeth on everybody's isn't a reason to hate the man. Thanks to him, we got Deadpool. Well, first of all, I have no use for Deadpool beyond the movies, but I like the movies. They're okay. But I've bumped into him a few times, and he was perfectly nice to me. He's a big-time fan and geek who likes a lot of the same stuff comics-wise that I do.
Oh, wow.
And so I just think his art sucks donkeys, okay?
Okay.
I mean,
I like the Deadpool movies. I'm not a geek.
Yeah.
But I play one on CLOBBY'S Clubhouse. No,
That's
kidding. Right. I'm not a geek. I'm a nerd. And I know nothing about comics. I'm just learning from this magnificent crowd of brainiac pop culture geeknesses of the geektastic geeks. And I like Deadpool.
Sean says, not sure what J-Man's opinion of Speed 2 is. I just think it's a funny alternative to the... yeah, it's true because that's a good point. Ezra Goldstein, welcome. Good to see you.
Ezra, nice to see you.
Decepticon, Sean, that's a good point. Because we do overuse because it's irresistible, but we do overuse the electric boogaloo thing. Thanks partially to Mr. Science Theater. And yeah, that's right, J-Man. Well, we are good friends because I met him once and I didn't backhand him in the face or anything. I mean, I call that a true friendship. I don't know about you. Look, that's true compassion right there. I never once just elbowed him in the nose or anything. So I thought that was very compassionate on my part. And he was, by the way, in that position because we were in the elevator at one point.
The Comic Relief Crusader says, "Come, Raquel, bathe in our geekiness. Be one with us." Just so you know, yeah. I mean, I absolutely love social science. So geeks and hanging out with the grand poobah of all geeks is great. I love it.
Pop culture curator, good to see you, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, hello.
Quite frankly, it was a little disturbing that you read that one. Almost as disturbing as that he tweeted it. I mean, he posted it, but we'll let you guys slide on that one. Wow. Let's see here. All right, let's see how the poll is going. We have a poll up so far about the latest issue of issue. See, it's comic stuff. Orville episode. Right now, let's see. In the 4 categories, 13 votes, and it's climbing. Okay, I'm just looking at it. I'll announce it a little. You can all see it anyway. I'll talk about it a little bit later. I just wanted to see what was going on with that. And a little bit later, we'll talk about the episode when Mark gets here. He should be here soon. It's what the hell? By the way, for later, I know some art a lot more distorted than Rob Leftfield's feet. Yeah, I mean, no. Hey, Michael Beacom. What's up,
Michael?
Dude? And good to see you there, my friend.
Good evening, Beacom.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. J-Man, I did like it. I mean, I had to, not like I did last week. I'll be honest with you. And we will talk about it a little bit. Yes.
So, I can't wait to talk about it. I'm bursting.
Raquel's bursting to talk about it, so I can't wait until next week when she gets to talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. She'll come. What? We're putting a moratorium. No Orville talk until the season's over. How about
shin kicks? Shin kicks. Kick those rocks. I'm gonna kick those rocks. Shin kicks.
Oh dear.
Rocky shins. Take that.
Yes, that's gonna hurt your feet. Kicking orange rock.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
And yeah, that's actually a good point there, Fanty. What feet? Leftfield never even drew feet. He couldn't draw it. It was funny how even in that second Ryan Reynolds in the second Deadpool movie, which was just called Ryan Reynolds movie, when he made fun of, it's like some kind of character created by some guy, an artist that can't draw feet. He made it. They actually attacked Leafield in the movie, but he probably laughed about it. I mean, he should have been all the money he was making off of that. I never had any use for the Deadpool as a comic book character, but I did like those movies. They were funny. And the voice of James Cobb from Firefly. Is Raquel gonna explode? I don't want Raquel to explode. I love Firefly. So yeah. Leftfield drew feet in about 5 panels, not large panels. Yeah. I must wait 8 hours to see the second episode, so no spoilers, please. Hungry boy. I will give spoilers. Raquel wants to talk about it tonight, and I told her that the people haven't seen it yet.
I do. I have to talk about it.
We'll wait to the second hour, and I will give you spoilers. A hungry boy, I promise. See, that's the thing. I mean, it's only been dropped. I don't even know if they have it over there yet, where he is.
Yeah, well, it's because,
Did they get it?
This is why people in New Zealand and people in Australia are honorary Canadians, because, the access to American media, the suck is large.
Since we have J-Man and Sean here, Sean, J-Man, I don't know maybe you guys know the time do you guys know the precise time that the new Orville episode on a Wednesday night is supposed to drop up in your neck of the woods? Here, for example, I'm in the Central Time Zone, and it drops at 11 o'clock on Hulu. But last night, it was about over 3 hours after that Raquel was able to get it. In her time, she's basically same as the Mountain Time Zone, like an hour behind me. So, and she got it like after 1 a.m. Do you guys know when that's supposed to drop? Because she was talking about it, and she was sending some messages to me. I tagged Tom Constantino and Seth MacFarlane.
And he answered.
Okay, yeah, not MacFarlane, but Constantino answered, just basically said, wait, it's not dropped there yet? So he was surprised. So what time, if anyone in Canada could let us know, since Raquel's just now started with that service, what time is? In other words, was it supposed to drop at that point, or do you know what time it is supposed to drop on the? Well, when it drops, because like I say, it's Wednesday night here.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be
Wow.
like at the time that it's dropped on the streaming service. That time
4
should
a.m.
be the international time, but
Well,
there was
4.
lag here, and judging by the way that Constantino replied,
You're surprised.
I was correct in my assumption that it was just supposed to go like basically global at that time. And I mean, it doesn't shift around. So if it's at 4 o'clock in the morning where you are, and when it's 10 o'clock when he releases it, in whatever time
Right.
zone, tough titty said the kitty when the milk went dry. But it should have went live across the globe at that time, and it was supposed to. That's what Seth said on Twitter. So this is why I was walkie-talkieing Klobby. I was like, what the HE double hockey sticks is going on here? Why is it like I'm mountain, so I live just a little bit beyond the mountains, so the foothills of the Canadian Rockies, and so I'm in the mountain time, and
Larry.
And it didn't start until like 22 minutes after 1. It was really random. And also, Larry's here.
Hey, Larry, good to see you. Welcome.
Mwah,
So
mwah,
Chris Persia says, and again, that would track with, because 10 p.m. to you is 11 p.m. to me, and said, for Raquel, it should have dropped at 10 p.m. He's also up there. So when did it drop for you at that? That would have been 12 for Chris if he's in the East. I don't know what time zone he's in though, but if he's in the Eastern time zone, then it would be 12 for our friends there. So I wondered. I mean, it's all on. The only place is Disney minus, right, up there.
It is, and I paid for Disney Plus.
You subscribed, and it didn't pop on there till like 120 or something. So, I wonder if anyone else had that problem. Could have the same problem that Raquel did. If you guys let us know. So I mean, hopefully next week maybe they'll get it back. They can correct that and get it back on track. That'd be nice.
Yeah, well, that's why I was so happy when I saw this screenshot. I couldn't believe that Tom Constantino responded like that, and so earnestly and so directly and so quickly. And Seth was tagged in it, and I don't know what happened, but like literally 2 minutes later, it appeared. And it's not like I'm a dingbat where I don't understand how technology works. I have a master's degree in communications and technology, and I won a Golden Web Award from the International Association of Webmasters and Designers. I'm not a nincompoop. Like I was logging in, logging out. I was also refreshing. I was going in and restarting it and reloading it each time. I was checking to see that it was there. So I just couldn't believe it. It was just so random. I believe it was. I would need to check our walkie-talkies, but I think it was 1:22, and it was only after you sent me that sexy screenshot of Tom Constantino saying, "Hey, WTF, people in Canada can't watch it yet," and I was like,
that's. Hey, McKinney Draws, what's up there?
Nice
Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see what Sean said. Sean said, Eastern time was supposed to be 3 a.m. in Toronto. Because that line of 3 a.m. Whoa. Not sure if it actually appeared at that time. Well, that would track because, no. Eastern time would be 4 a.m. to your 1 a.m. if that was supposed to be time. So I'm confused. In Toronto, it's supposed to be 3 a.m. But see, they were not sure if it actually appeared at that time. Well, since
what's the time difference between us
and
TO again? I forget. And it's always because everybody's arguing and fighting
Eastern.
about whether or not we should have daylight savings time and moving this around and that around. And so like I always just use my phone to check because
so what he's saying, it sounds like if that's the case.
What's the time difference?
Eastern time. There's a 2 hour. That's a 2 hour time difference between you, that Eastern and Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So he says 3 a.m. which means that 1 a.m. is the correct time if that's the case for you. In other words, which means Disney minus gets it after the States.
It must be. It has to be.
Yeah.
That's got to be it. That's
So-
got to be the reason.
So you're saying, Sean, then Disney minus gets it, let's see, gets it 3 hours after the States does.
Yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk is saying Toronto here, supposed to show up at 1 a.m. I thought it was available at the same moment across the world. Yeah, well, that's the advent of streaming, right? That's the tech in play. It's supposed to go worldwide live at the time in which Seth releases it from whatever time zone it's originating from. So that was my impression as well, Mr. Tickle Trunk. But it looks as though we're all learning, including that wonderful producer, Tom Constantino, who jumped into the trenches to make sure we got to watch it, that there may be a delay in getting to Disney minus. So if you're on Hulu and you can get Hulu in your country, which you can't in Canada, Hulu's not here, then you can watch it when it goes worldwide live. But if you're on Disney minus, like I am, and you're doing it legally, which I want to do because I want to prove that I'll put my money where my mouth is, I will definitely buy stuff that I like. So I'm making a point of doing this to send a message. But it looks as though we have to wait around. It sucks.
Well, yeah, because like I'm looking at that tweet again, and when Tom sent that back, it'd only been a couple of minutes since I'd asked him about it. I didn't expect him to be that quick, and I went back and looked over at it, and that was 2:17 my time. It was 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute old tweet. So in other words, 2:17, that would be 1:17 your time that he sent that back. So right when he was telling us that is when it finally, right around when it finally dropped for you. So I don't know so they probably didn't do anything, but if it was supposed to be at 1 a.m. sharp, then it was still late. 1 a.m. your time sharp, then it was still late.
It was still late, and not only late, but it was it went live at a very odd time. Like I said, I believe it was 22 minutes after 1, that's a stupid time. Nobody can tell me that that something wasn't amiss there, something wasn't wrong there, because nothing premieres at 22 minutes past the hour.
Yeah, no, that was an accident. That was definitely messed up. So what I don't understand is, and again, I know it's Hulu, that Disney owns Hulu. Why can't they get it at the exact same time Hulu does in Canada and run it? Why does it have to be 3 hours later? I don't understand that. I mean, and then they don't tell you. I don't know.
Thing I hated is now that I do have this stupid Disney minus, and it's somehow linked in with the Hulu in Canada, you can do the watch party.
Huh?
Yeah, there's actually a thing on my Disney minus that says, would you like to do a watch party? Well, weird. I felt pretty cool looking at that, going, oh my gosh, I have all these American friends. I have friends all over Canada in the geek and nerd community online. I want to watch with them. And so you can imagine my dismay when I'm like, okay, so this is $12.59 a month. And I'm going to be waiting around for how long afterwards? So I just I talked about this before the Orville came out. And that is this situation about putting your IP in danger by not making sure that you're careful with its distribution. Now, when we're talking about the filth totally crapped the bed as far as distribution and international audience, because people just didn't have access to the filth. I'm glad that happened to it, but I just don't want to see that happen with the Orville. The Orville has to position itself in a way in which everyone in the world can watch it, and we remove all of those. And now I'm going to speak like a communications and technology scholar. We not only want to remove all the barriers to watching and paying for it, but we definitely don't want to be throwing up additional barriers. So I just think it's really important that we caretake the way that we're distributing the Orville so that we can show with our we're voting with our bucks, with our money here, that we want to watch this show, and we're not putting the show at a disadvantage where people are saying, okay, well, I'm paying for it, but it's going to be 3.5 or 4 hours later than everyone else. Why don't I just look it up online and take it online? And I'm not advocating for that. Everyone around here knows that I'd like to stay copyright compliant, and I don't want to take anything away from artists. I don't. But it's important for artists and corporations and intellectual properties to realize that the way distribution transpires is vital to staying connected to that audience and keeping that audience paying out of convenience. If they're paying and it's also inconvenient, Disney minus in Canada may actually hamper the ability of folks to watch the Orville in a way in which they can pay for it, enjoy it, and be a part of that online community, that live community that's enjoying it.
Well, there you go. There you go. I just hope they get it straightened out. But yeah, you got to get it a little bit later than us, unfortunately. It's a good thing you're a night owl, but that sucks. And you got to avoid the internet for 3 hours for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you brought that up, because we were walkie-talkie in that. I was like, Captain, they're already spoilering.
Were they really? Wow, I didn't see any of that, but I wasn't looking much.
There were people already taking they were video. They took out their phones and they were already taking little short videos of their TVs of certain scenes and talking about it and saying, "Oh, look, she's wearing the uniform from this season. That's a mistake. It's not the same uniform as last season." And they were already taking it apart. Like the Americans were already digging into dinner, and the Canadians were sitting over at the kid table waiting, saying, "Where's the beef?" So it's important that these corporations get on it and make sure they're making it as convenient as possible. If you want us to keep doing this, make it convenient.
But in the meantime, would you please stop reading Mr. Tickle Trunk's mind?
Oh, sorry, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
That's very rude. You telepaths have no consideration for anybody else's privacy.
Larry's asking something. He says, do some viewers see ads? Then they will be behind viewers who see ads.
Hey, Oliver Belamonte, welcome.
Oliver's here. Hi, Oliver.
Hey, Oliver. So what about that?
Yeah, so anyway, I just shout out to Tom Constantino for addressing fans immediately. Wow, it's been a long time since a Hollywood person has actually behaved like a Hollywood person, in the golden age of television and the golden age of film.
Guy.
Yeah. Just a very classy person, very caring person. I thought it was outstanding that at nearly 1:30 in the morning, he was rushing to my rescue to bring this to the attention of Seth MacFarlane. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. Everyone, please keep supporting the Orville. Put your dollars where it counts. Show Hollywood this is what we want.
All right, J-Man. Take it easy. Good night, buddy.
J-Man.
Thanks for hanging, brother.
Hey, don't forget to follow J-Man on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely.
And can you all do me a favor? Can you please follow J-Man to his Twitter?
Please.
Because on his Twitter, you're going to find out his name is Jason. He is a talented author. He has his own author's page on Amazon Kindle, and so does his beautiful wife. They're both writers, and they could sure use your support. Please go and follow them and buy their wonderful stories, books, and poetry. Really, really nice people. Please support Jason and his gorgeous wife. And you can do that through Amazon, Kindle, through Twitter, and certainly through YouTube. Good night, Jason.
Oliver has a question about one of your favorite characters, Uhura.
What does he say?
True that Lieutenant Uhura first came for her first name came from a Star Trek book, from a book, Star Trek II Biographies by William Rossler. Did Rossler ask Roddenberry for approval? That's not exactly how I heard it. Hello, Niran and Axel Manderberry. Good to see you.
Hey, Niran.
Welcome. So is that? I know they got it from some book. I thought they got it from a novel or something, didn't they?
Yeah, it was my understanding that that the filth people got the Uhura name, which of course it's not canon because it's in the books, from a book, but it was my understanding
Right.
that someone else had written it. I was under the impression that that it was DC Fontana. I'm an academic. I've spent the last 20 plus years of my life just focusing on academia, so I haven't had time to watch a lot of television. And oh, we have bots, and I certainly haven't had a sufficient amount of time to read all of these Star Trek novels. And I'd love to dig into them. I think they're great. I think they're wonderful. I don't consider them canon. But the fact
Right.
that they're tracking to that to get their information, I think will appease a lot of fans. I mean, I think it's a smart move, but it's very important for me to say on air, since I've been asked by the great Oliver Belamonte, um, that this should not exist. So, according to Gene Roddenberry's Bibles, this show should not exist because it's a reboot. And so, he not only did he not want any reboots happening, he did not want anything remade. And there's only one Nichelle Nichols. Uhura is not a mantle. She's not a cloak. She's not a costume. She's just Nichelle Nichols. And so Nichelle Nichols is the only Uhura for me. And so this other filth that's happening, I don't care how much they dig around in the attic of Star Trek dime store novels, they will never appease me. This to me, this should not exist. So my official stance is Uhura is not a cape. She's not a mask. She's not a costume. She is a person played by Nichelle Nichols. And so that's the beginning, the middle, and the end for me. And thank you for your amazing questions, as always, Oliver Belmonte. Clobby, what's your take on this?
I'm with you. No, I mean, I think if it's not, if it's not from Roddenberry, then it doesn't count. I mean, I guess, if they worked it into, I guess if somehow they found another way to work it into canon, I don't mind it being from books, but it doesn't count anyway because they only started using it in filth. So it's just irrelevant, really. Yeah, I mean, no, not for me. I mean, I would have no problem with that name if it can't come from the right source. So
I just don't even know how people are even watching this with Chapel and Number One, who is, I think, didn't they give her the name Una?
Number One, it's Una now. Una something.
Yeah.
So that was Dorothy Fontana that gave her that, though.
Yeah,
in a book she wrote.
Yeah. Oh no, that was the DC Fontana reference. Right. That was the DC Fontana reference.
Yeah, that was
the Uhura. I don't know.
No,
so
Uhura,
I got a little bit mixed up there. But
Uhura was also in a book, though. It was some book that it got taken from and then used later in the Star Trek biographies or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it did not, as far as I know, it didn't come from Roddenberry. Maybe he did. Did he put it in? Well, I don't know. We'd have to check and get back with you because did you think he was asking about where the name came from, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my interpretation of it. Did I get that wrong?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. It's just
we can double check and get back to you, Oliver.
Yeah, but that's my understanding of it, Oliver Belamonte. I don't know too much about the all the Star Trek dime store novels. I don't know much about them. I wish I did, but I spent most of my life working my way through university, and there the university texts that I was reading in the classics I was reading, that they were very important to what I was striving for. So I didn't really have time for those books, but I would speculate that would be a tactic that they would be using to appease people who are watching strange screwed squirrels. It
was adopted because it was put in one of the, it was like I say, it was from some novel. And then the guy he's mentioning, I forgot the name that, Oliver mentioned him. The guy who wrote that Star Trek 2 biographies took it from a book, from a novel.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I got some tripwire stuff. I mean, since we're waiting on hey, Polymy's
Boss.
minion.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Apollonie's minion and the pupperoni have arrived. It's the Truck
Hey.
Dog, the official pupperoni of Saturday Night Star Trek. Please follow Apollonie's minion and Simi on YouTube.
Let's. I tell you what, we usually do this later in the show, but since we're waiting on Mark, I want to wait on Mark till we do the Orville, and when he has some other stuff. We could get our tripwire out of the way, see if we can get Hungry Boy to have an aneurysm.
Yeah, and Larry says that uhura means freedom in Swahili. I think it does. If I'm not super great with this kind of thing because yeah, I'm just not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Larry is correct on that one.
Wow, we got a tripwire for you. Let me see how many we got. Man, this site's slow though. See how the poll's doing. Okay, I'll check that in a minute. Wow, this thing's slow. But we're waiting on Mark, everyone. Mark is in despair. He will be here. Man, they must have thinking the thing's going late. Wow, it's a late one. Must be like a double, triple overtime or something.
Could not be reached for further comments. Says
Mean Star, huh?
yeah, not Nyota.
Nyota Uhura. Yeah. Mean Star.
It does.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I just wish that they would just stop messing with all this stuff and just leave it alone. You know, it's
leave it alone.
Yeah, and you know that was probably one of the most progressive things they ever did. You know, we talk about this a lot in social science. I'm sorry, I got a lot going on here in the background. The dogs are misbehaving tonight, but I just want everyone to know that, you know, one thing that a lot of women in STEM and a lot of women who have gone through a lot of university and a lot of training and a lot of credentials, one thing that that they continually complain about is that when they go to a conference, all of the doctors who are male are called by their last name, and people call out their credential, and so but the women at these conferences and the women that do these presentations are normally addressed by people in the crowd, even by other women, by their first name. And so there's this emotional labor that transpires for academic women. We're addressed in a sort of in a way in which people think they know us. So, hey, Raquel said this instead of, Dr. Briggs or Professor Briggs or whatever. And so this happens. So for me, what I find kind of funny about all of this is putting this emphasis on her first name when I really just liked it when they just left her alone and we were calling her by her last name, like we would any expert person who is, in charge of their department, is an astronaut, and is a communications and technology engineer. So I just think it's so funny because whenever we talk about the filth is always trying to move forward this idea that they're progressive. And for academic women who have, achievement, we would like to be referred to just the same as anyone else. And so I'm going to continue to call her Uhura, and I don't care what anybody else says.
Uhura, indeed. Yes, that's what everyone just called her that. But yeah, so there you go. But yes, yeah, she's Uhura, indeed, Larry. But okay, let's see here. We'll get this out of the way. We only have one tripwire for this evening. Shall we do it?
Yes. But I just want to put up this one comment because I trust this person, and I was not aware of this. Could not be reached.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It says also Nichelle Nichols officially acknowledged the use of Nyota as Uhura's first name when she guest starred on an episode of the game show Super Password in January 1987 from the same site. Oh, so you took this off of a site. Okay, all right. But if Clobby actually saw it on TV, we know.
I didn't see it on TV, but I've read about that before, that she has acknowledged it. But, you know, what was she supposed to say? No, that sucks. I don't want that. I mean
Yeah, Michael
a
Beacom
fan brought
says.
up to her. Yeah.
Michael Beacom says, Uhura's first name is Lieutenant. I love you, Michael. And Nirot, I'm glad that you got to learn that little fact. Certainly, it's not all women in academia. It's not all women who have outstanding achievement as a professor, a PhD, or a doctor. It's just some. And so because that can sometimes be the prevailing opinion amongst women, I just think it's funny that this show that's trying to claim that it's so progressive is trying to take away the formality of what Uhura earned, which is being in charge, being in command of the Enterprise, and earning all of these accolades. And I mean, even in real life, I mean, she was recruiting for NASA. There's no need to call her by her first name, and we can give her the same dignity and that same respect as we would give any other man. So in this way, I just wanted to reveal that the filth isn't very sincere, and it's one of the many reasons why I like to call it on being that way. Yeah. Anyway, Clubby Tripwire.
There you go. Let's see. Hungry Boy says, "You ready, Hungry Boy?" He said, "Need to go meet in the chili. Let's slaughter these. Go comic and grit them. We only have one this week, Hungry Boy."
I love Hungry Boy.
Now, this is all right. This one, Hungry Boys, under. I mean, it's number 32. It's number 33. Sorry. Now, my problem here is, I think you might agree that there are 33 better comic strip artists in history. Comic artists, let's just say that. You got to be out your damn mind. Tripwire, more evidence again, because you're gonna have. That means they're gonna have 32. They're gonna have 32 people above this number 33. A legend. Hal Foster.
I think they just pulled names out of a hat.
They are idiots. Hal Foster. So I'm not. Look, I'm not putting him in my top 10 or anything, but I mean, I would respect anyone who does. But you're going to tell me there are 32 greater artists who've drawn comics than Hal Foster? For shit's sake. I mean, are you crazy? You guys do not understand anything. He was a part of Americana for 5 freaking decades. He arguably still is with Prince Valiant. How many people have seen the Prince Valiant strip in the newspaper? I mean, it's what you got. Oh, RAQUEL, Clubberin Trek isn't about sincerity. It's about false family narrative. Yeah, it's about trash is what it is. Yeah, absolutely, sir. So, how many people? So let's just look at some of his art. I mean, how many people who don't know a damn thing about comics know what Hal Foster did? Have opened up a newspaper. I know they don't have those anymore, but you know what they did? And on the Sunday paper, the Prince Valiant section, the strip. I mean, and he did a great job on Tarzan too. I love his Tarzan work. Some Hal Foster Tarzan. A man whom redefined inking and sequentially. Thank you. But these guys, idiots, don't know this. Let's see here. I mean, I kind of prefer. I love his Tarzan. I also love Hogarth's Tarzan. I mean, I can't wait to see who they're putting in front of him. Some of his Prince Valiant work, some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen. Yeah. Foster was born in Canada. Yeah. Mark would have something to say about this. I think he knew someone who knew Foster, if I'm not sure. I mean, remember, just open up the newspaper every Sunday, and you had that beautiful, just the color segment every week. Yes, a brilliant colorist. I mean, he colored his stuff. Look at that. I mean, good Lord. So, Tripwire thinks that there were 32 people that belong above Hal Foster. Look at that.
Oh, Halifax.
Jesus
Larry
Christ.
Halifax.
Mm-hmm.
And Hungry,
Halifax.
yeah, he says Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is Lord Thoth. That's his stomping grounds. And Hungry Boy says he's
Wow.
also a brilliant colorist.
He is. So, if they put Trina Robbins on this list, look, you're probably right, Hungry Boy. They probably will. And I can't imagine anyone beyond the age of at least 30 that hasn't seen Prince Valiant in a newspaper or something. Look at that. I mean, look at the spectacle of one page right there. One panel.
Gorgeous.
Big blown up panel. The guy was genius. Just a master cartoonist and storyteller. And he could do it with one panel. He wasn't a sequential artist as much. Always loved this. Well, look at that. Good Lord.
Well, somebody just put dingleberries in the chat. And so now my life is complete. And of course, you know who would do that, right?
The great Hungry Boy, of course. Like many of our faves, Foster was a genius at perspective, unlike underground dingleberries. Yes. Look at that. God, look how, that's beautiful. That's unbelievable. He was incredible.
Those look like hoodoos in Drumheller.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't know what a hoodoo is. Do I know what a hoodoo is?
They're these natural sand formations where you find lots of dinosaurs. Okay. When I bring you here and you come and visit us, we'll drive out to Drumheller and I'll show it to you.
Indeed. Cool. Works for me. So yeah.
Ooh, that looks painful. Look at that. Go back down.
That's what I was trying to.
Are those on his wrists or are they on his fingers?
It's on his fingers. I was trying to pass it quick.
Ooh, ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, Prince Valiant went through a lot. I'm gonna tell you. Great colors, though, man.
Well, not gonna lie, I love this comic.
Great colors. I mean, it's amazing.
The colors are outstanding.
So, yeah. I just whoever's the one before this, I'm like, well, okay. So just like with George Perez, every time I see they put somebody inferior to George Perez, I'm like, so wait a minute, there. And what was Perez at 46? So you tell me there are 45 guys who were better than Perez? I don't think so. Oh man, but I mean, this is a legend here. This is a guy that you'd have to know anything. You'd have to have never read a comic book in your life, but you read a comic strip probably in the newspapers because the strips were huge. And if you were old enough, if you're past the age of 35 or whatever, you've seen Prince Valiant in the paper.
So if Mark were here right now, the first thing I would say to him is, so what do one of these run you?
Well, these are all, I mean, there are some big books that compile these, but they're all newspaper strips. So, yeah, thank you, Tripwire. Jackasses. Morons.
Dadman's here. Dadman Glenn.
Dadman, what's up, buddy?
And can everyone please sing happy birthday to Dadman? Only we can't because it's copyright and they'll shut us down. So happy birthday. Everyone, could you please put like a little cake or a little candle?
Is his birthday again? I thought it was birthday like 2 weeks ago.
No, isn't it today? Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Well, I might be a loony. I interact with like 500 people on the internet almost every day. I hope
It is pretty. Yeah. No, it's amazing. Yeah, exactly, Sean. You should have saw some of the ones they had on this list already. I was like, wow. But yeah. I'm
just checking the Twitter. It's his birthday, isn't it? I thought like Dadman's pretty important.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay, it was yesterday. Okay. Sorry. I just
That's
didn't want
okay.
to forget that it was your birthday because
I
I
didn't
love
see
you.
that
I love
yesterday.
you.
I'm
I love your
sorry.
whole family. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Look at the horse. I judge artists by how they do their animals. Many studied and can do people, but can't draw a horse or a dog to save their lives. Good point, Michael. Well, happy birthday for yesterday. To the great dad man. Hey, buddy.
Phew, thank goodness. I thought I was losing my mind there. I
Why
got
did I
the
think it
dogs
was-
running around in the background, fighting each other. I just bought them a brand new bed. They chewed a hole in it. They're pulling all the stuffing out of the bed, and I'm trying to answer questions about Uhura and
I was
pop
on
culture.
I think I was on with Doomcock or somebody the other night. We all sang happy birthday. No one did anything to us about it. But
good.
Dad man, if we were in private, I would sing you the special happy birthday song that I used to sing on my old show, but I won't sing it here. But put it to you like this: my happy birthday song. There aren't too many people that are privy to it on this planet. But I remember my friend Flash, who I used to do my show with on Blog Talk Radio many years ago, when he had it. Just happened to be his birthday. I think his son told me it was his birthday. I don't know why I just went ahead and I sang him my special happy birthday song, and he busted out. He laughed so much about it, and he played it back for his wife, and she laughed. And one night, like a few months later, whatever, he said, she wants you to sing the happy birthday song to her. I said, there's no way I'm singing that to a woman. I'll sing it to her too. And she said, no, she really wants you to. They had to talk. It took like They took it forever to talk me into it because I'm singing that to a lady.
Oh, look who's here. Should I add him? Oh, you got him.
What happened?
You're late, mister.
You missed Tripwire.
My punishment, my Rangers lost. Oh, the horror.
I'm sorry.
Your agonizer, please.
Yeah. Didn't you hear the voices of all the Rangers fans crying out? Sorry. And as their hopes were suddenly silent, sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Clubby, finish telling your story.
I was just gonna say. So he brought her on, and I actually finally, I said, "Dude, I feel horrible singing this to a woman. This is something, and it's stupid anyway. It's really idiotic. It's an idiotic, childish, stupid ass song. But the point is, it's only. I don't mind that. I don't care if I look like an idiot. I am an idiot. I don't give a shit about that. J25, hey. But I just didn't feel comfortable singing it to a woman, so I did it anyway because they both talked me into it. And she was happy. Why they wanted me to do that, I don't know. And then every year he would make me do that to him.
And what was the song for those of us who just
my special happy birthday song?
Ah, okay.
Because
it's very special, which means there's a great deal of profanity.
Only 3 people have heard it, probably, unless Jobbers. I don't think Jobbers here, but he heard it on me doing it. Anyone who heard the old show heard it. But
so you can't sing it in front of your mom and dad.
No,
nah.
He wouldn't even sing it in front of a rando woman. He's definitely not going to sing it in front of his mom and dad.
In front of all these people. It's pretty filthy. It's stupid more than anything else. And that's the thing. That's probably why it's really embarrassing, is that it's idiotic. Pop culture curator, good to see you there. Oh, that's right. He was here earlier, but hello again. Happy birthday,
is it definitely in public domain now? Good.
I heard that.
Yeah. They lost that case.
Did they lose that case? That's great
news.
Yeah.
I think they were able to prove that it was printed on sheet music in 1913 or something like that. There was some case where they found that they weren't the original publishers, and the original the dog agrees. Yeah, the original publishers hadn't filed a copyright claim. So
he's arguing with you, saying you're not right.
You're wrong.
No,
this is why I'm a nincompoop tonight. I'm trying to have a conversation. I just bought the dogs a brand new bed at Costco. It's a huge bed. It's like, it looks like an island in the Bahamas for them, and they've just torn it apart and are gutting it behind me. And I'm trying to have a decent conversation, but all I can think about is all
the
of
bed
the
getting
fluff
destroyed
that's going on behind me. And every time somebody walks by, they're like, rough. It's nuts. Anyways, I'm gonna
it's my dog Duke. We bought him a bed they said was indestructible. It lasted like 2 days, so he would always end up with a blanket because it was just a lost cause until he got much older. But it would just chew the crap out of the bed. It's like, dude, that's for you to sleep on.
Well, they don't chew anything. They don't destroy anything. What they do is they punish me whenever I'm on air. Obviously, because I look like a complete idiot to them because I'm talking into a box and not paying attention to them. So the only time they're brats and ruin things is when I'm on air, and they always do it to their bed. Oh, it's maddening.
Comic relief. Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for being here, man.
Good night.
Yeah, they're I only use that song for like 2 or 3 friends that I call and leave it on their birthday on their answering machines. I mean, on their no. Remember that when they're answering machines?
I'm definitely giving you Andy's birthday.
Yeah, but you don't know.
My birthday's coming up next week. You're not going to sing that to me, I hope. Then.
No. If
your birthday's next week, you old man.
Old, yeah. God.
Hey, Michael Bickham. So thank you for the $2 super chat. He says for the new dog bed for RMBs. Puppy's fun. Well, you're too kind. Thank you so much for that.
Sweetheart of a person. Puppies. Thank you, Michael.
Now I'm definitely sick it at you, but no, not.
Well, and if you do that, maybe I'll treat you to top. I'll treat you to Top Gun too. Just kidding.
Yeah, you missed Tripwire. You know they had number 33.
Who did they do this?
Hal Foster.
Hal Foster. Wow.
33.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy, but yeah, you don't know. You know who he is.
Prince Valiant, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. Raquel wants to talk about is the Outerville episode. She wants to do it all spoilery like. But we'd have to make some spoiler warnings and stuff first.
You got to do the spoiler banner.
I guess I could. Yeah, I guess I got to make one then, right?
Hey, Dave's here. Dave.
Hey, Dave. I guess I have to make one, right?
I'm bursting at the seams to talk about the Orville.
Should I make one out of this? Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I should make one out of this.
Well, keep that handy for Saturday night.
Oh, you know I will. Oh. I'll make one out of this. Oh, no.
So, Raquel, you finally got to watch the episode, thankfully, right?
And it wasn't until Clobby got a hold of Tom Constantino.
No, that didn't do it. I called him at the same time. There was something screwed up.
I would take credit for it, Clobberin.
Let's give Tom the credit anyway.
Let's give Tom the credit, but I don't understand why Disney Minus would release the Kraken at like some random time, 22 minutes after 1 o'clock in the morning, when everyone was under the impression, like Mr. Tickletrunk said, everyone was under the impression that when it went live globally. So if you have Hulu and you're watching it, it's gone live. It's not there. It's not
supposed to go live everywhere at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern across the globe, basically, whatever that time zone is. Arizona.
There.
Exactly.
No, Sean tells us it's supposed. He said it is supposed to go 3 hours after in Canada on Disney Minus after.
Stupid.
That's what he was telling us. If that's true.
And what's happening down under? Has anybody found out from our friends down under? I think Hungry Boy was saying they don't get it for another 8 hours. What kind of suck is that?
Well, it's not on an app or a streaming service. It's on a free TV thing. It's on free TV there.
So it's broadcast. So you have to wait till it's broadcast for free.
Yeah.
On good old TV. Yep. They were doing that with STD at some point too. I think across the pond.
People watched that?
Not many. And they didn't do very well here. The CBS ran it here.
Maybe not people, but
maybe not people, just bots. CBS bots or Paramount bots. I don't even know who owns it anymore. There's so much trading and arguing and fighting and back and forth. You're like, is it Viacom? Is it Viacom CBS? Is it CBS? Is it Paramount? Is it Paramount Plus? And how about that other company that owns it that I always talk about with the weird name? The amusements company. What's they've always had a piece of it. I don't think they'll ever let it go.
7 hours is coming on over there.
That's a long wait.
Well, yeah. So yeah, sorry. Well, we'll give an ample warning there and say Hungry Boy. So
we could put the spoiler banner up and take it down.
Yeah,
I guess,
I'll have it up. Yeah, but I mean, still, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
That he has that because everyone. And I guess we may as well. Everyone else is spoilering it. So.
Yeah, everyone else did. Like I actually
did it for 2 hours, 3 hours
from my computer 3 hours after it was.
No, but I mean, I'm talking about now. You know, PJ did a show talking about it tonight, and so yeah.
Yeah, everyone's on it. Like everyone's already talking about it. I don't want to be the last people talking about it. Plus, like I don't want to wait, but I also don't want Hungry Boy to leave. But
yeah, no, but I don't want him to get spoiled. If you don't want to get spoiled, I don't want him to get spoiled either. So I understand.
We said it mute while we have the spoiler thing up.
What we'll do is we'll do the spoilering stuff quickly and then signal you to come back. So it doesn't have to be a long spoiler segment. How about that? We'll do it enough to get everything we need to say, and then we'll signal them back.
Yeah. So last week we didn't talk at all about the first episode. So why don't we start there? And let's talk about that first episode, how we felt about it, and let's compare.
Well, we did non-spoilery stuff because we didn't want to give it away.
That's right. And so now we can do a little bit of comparing and contrasting. I know that sounds academic, but I think it will help set up why I did not think, I'm going to say this now, that this was as strong an episode as the first.
By the way, here's our poll so far on the latest episode. 64% loved it. Of 25 votes. 20 liked it. 16 thought it was so-so, and fortunately 0% didn't like it. So that's nice.
I had problems with the episode too as I was watching it.
I'm probably in the liked it category at 20% personally. I liked it. I had some issues here and there, but you know.
Well, let's discuss your issues because the first.
Oh wait, we'll do the. Do you want to do last week's episode first, so Hungry Boy can stick around, and then we'll.
Okay, yes. Hungry Boy. Did you see the first episode, Hungry Boy? No, don't worry about that, Hungry Boy. We don't like to spoiler anybody. I mean, you know, like we understand. Yeah. So, did you just let us know? We're going to start on the first one. If anyone has not seen the first episode, Electric Sheep, we're going to be spoilering that one. And then after a few minutes, after we catch up with that a little bit, we will start spoilering the second episode, which is called Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. But right now we're talking about. Hey, Hungry Boy. When you see this Chiron off, that means we're not spoiling anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? All right.
Watch that ticker, baby. Watch that ticker.
Right.
By your command.
5.
By your command.
4.
Oh, that's a good one, Mark.
3. 2. 1. Okay. Now we'll start talking. And again, anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled, when this Chiron thingy is off, we're not spoiling. How about that? Makes it easy. That way you can just look, and once it's off of there, you're good. Okay. Clobby, you could. Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe we should do what Chris Purser said. Wow.
I 100% do that just for Chris Purser. I love him that much.
At the end. Oh, now if you're binging it, I can respect that, but you're gonna have to wait. So anyway. But here's episode 1, Electric Sheep. I loved it. I loved that episode. I mean, I gave it my rating of it was like a 9.5. Only because I saved the 10 rating for rarities. It's almost really a 10 to me. I thought it was beautiful and brilliant and wonderful. Starting with our first officer, thoughts on the first episode, Electric Sheep.
Okay, so I watched it again twice. Maybe 3 times before because of the stupid 3-hour gap last night. And I just want to say that it was outstanding science fiction. And I loved that there was science fiction throughout the episode. The pebble in the mouth to stimulate, salvation, or not salvation, like your salivatory glands. I'm not sure if you say that salivatory glands for human beings. I think you just say that for dogs. Anyways, but just to that whole science of putting a pebble in your mouth to get your body systems going to increase your hydration. I thought that was really cool. I love the idea of the arbor and the root, and talking about the equality of the arbor and the root. And just like all of this science fiction throughout the whole thing. I have been missing this whole this whole genre for so long, because everybody wants to go to science fantasy, because then it enables them to get more into the soap opera aspects, instead of every single week introducing a new idea, introducing a whole bunch of new scientific concepts, and taking people on that one journey, that one story. And that's far more difficult to do than it is to just, write a big long story that just involves how people feel about what's happening in this big long story. So I really enjoyed that. I loved the fact that the bigger part of the story was this whole idea of the Terminator or Pinocchio, and our society's struggle with AI and with synthetic life forms and robots. This never-ending struggle we have in science fiction, where we wonder if robots will turn on us, and how some people cope with that really well and some people don't. I thought that was outstanding. I thought the visuals were outstanding, but I'm not big on that stuff. I don't really care for the CGI. I thought it was done really well here. I really enjoyed the action-packed pew 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 parts of it. It made all of the ships look gorgeous, majestic, sexy. Really, really enjoyed that. But like I said, that's not why I watch science fiction. I watch science fiction to think, and to have all these little things from the encyclopedia about STEM sprinkled throughout an episode. It's what I love. I love science. I love science fiction. And the first episode represented true science fiction. It was joyous. I almost cried. It gave me so much joy and hope, and I was so glad to have it back. And I can't think of anything else right now. I'm a little flustered because the dogs are acting like maniacs, so I probably sound like a complete idiot while I'm talking tonight. But I loved that episode. What did you guys think?
Marco?
Yeah, well, I love the episode too, although it hits, it's a really tough subject matter, and it hit, hits home for a lot of people, or really that's what Orville does great, right? It tells great stories and allegory, and sends a message or a lesson without banging over the head. And what does that sound like? Maybe old Star Trek. So what I love about it was it gets you to think, and you're all of a sudden you feel this emotion for an emotionless android, and you're looking at that scene with him, and when he self-deletes, so he turns himself off. You can't be like, what did he just do? Did he just do that? Would Isaac just turn himself off? What did he do to himself? And you're totally bummed. And then I'm thinking, he's going to be gone for the rest of the series. They can't not have Isaac for the rest of the series. And so it instead of doing the obvious, right, we're taking maybe a character on the bridge who's depressed, or one of the other main characters, they choose to tell this story with an android without emotion, who in the end does show emotion, which is really, something to examine. And as you mentioned, what makes someone human, what makes someone life, the Measure of the Man, the classic episode, and getting to the Frankenstein monster, the demon aspect of it.
There's a difference between a demon and a daemon.
Well,
the daemon. Yeah.
I'm still upset my Rangers lost. Just kidding. And
okay.
we were watching RoboCop on Nick's Toxic Tuesday the other night, and a lot of similarities there in terms of that sci-fi nature, and that Mary Shelley, that classic story for the ages, which is reinterpreted so many times. And you could watch RoboCop and not realize, in my opinion, that's another version of the Frankenstein novel and story. So that's just what makes the Orville so great. And the writing, I think I'd mentioned it last week, where right away someone writes murder on the wall, and they talk about DNA and how they couldn't trace it, and they give you some reasons why it wouldn't be so easy to figure out who did that, even though maybe some of it is science talk, but it's believable. And because right away as a viewer, you're asking questions, and that's some of the problems I had with the episode this week, which I won't mention now because
okay, well,
some people are listening. But
let's just stick to this.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that was the contrast, I think, from the second to the first episode. And the acting is just so strong. I mean, it's just the actors are great, and the doctor, is it Penny, right? Is it, who's the doctor? No, that's yeah, Penny. She's just fantastic in that role. I think she was on, was she 24 as the president's wife, or I'm trying to remember what
I watched. Yes, and she was evil, and that's why.
Yeah.
When I went back and watched Deep Space Nine after that and saw her, and then after that, I thought, wow, she's the evil, horrible president's wife for 24. And she was great on that. She was terrible.
She was great.
Scary.
And she's so sympathetic. She's so sympathetic on this show, and so you know, you really feel for her too in this instance, and her kids, and especially for the son. I mean, you know, and in the end, when Charlie finally relents and helps to save Isaac, he's like, I didn't do it for you, I did it, you know, or, you know, I didn't do it for myself, which was kind of, you know, a nice character moment there too. I think, you know, if you're going to stick to that character not being so likable, but it showed some maybe cracks in her armor, even though it's a
but
brand
why
new,
do you say that she's
character.
Unlikable?
Well, because you would think instantly that she would make, you know, the typical writing you would have, she would instantly help to save a crew member. You know, that's generic. I guess I'm comparing it to today's, you know, garbage.
But that wasn't the story. And don't get me wrong. I'm not taking you to task over this, because you're an intelligent person and I completely respect your opinion. But I would just like to test this idea, because I've seen it all over social media. And, you know, the thing is that when we look at somebody like Stephen Hawking, Dr. Stephen Hawking, where we're seeing somebody who's saying, you know, this poses a grave danger to us. So, you know, when we're looking at this episode, it's really important that we engage with the more academic questions in play for science fiction, right? And that is this sort of technophilia, where you love all this tech and everything is great to you. And then on the other side, you have this Luddite, this person who, you know, doesn't want to have anything to do with technology whatsoever. And we see these two camps being presented in periphery, but in a science fiction context, so that we can massage this idea of AI. I did not find Charlie unlikable. I sort of felt like, hey, there's Stephen Hawking. And, you know, Seth reads, he is like, you know, I read Stephen Hawking, he reads Stephen Hawking. And so for me, when I see people saying, oh, you know, well, Charlie wasn't very likable because she didn't want to volunteer to save Isaac. I found her to be very intelligent, and I found it to be more intellectually stimulating and more believable to be presented with the technophilia and the Luddite. And obviously they're not in this context because they would be on the bridge. So technically they're all technophiliacs. Yeah. But what I'm saying is this rejection of artificial intelligence. And so I thought that set it up nicely, but it did not make me dislike Charlie. And I'm just wondering what the chat thinks. And also, let's get to a couple of things that are going on here. Pop Culture Republic just walked in.
Hey, Pop Culture Republic, what's up? Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, nice to see you, sweetness.
Thank you for the
we have Eric K.
Eric K, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Said I might not be a dog, but if Raquel petted me, I would pet. Oh my goodness.
I love you, Eric.
You.
Love you.
You. What's it? Hunger Boys and for Raquel, the thing with Charlie is, as I said to Jill, was a perfect allegory for a young Croat. And there's no
Croatian, probably. Croatian.
I know it's Croat. Yeah. I'm sorry, I have a cold. Not really. It's a Monty Python joke. Woman forced to serve alongside a Serb who was involved in the Balkan War in the 90s. That's a good analogy.
I think that's a wonderful analogy, but
you found her.
But for me, I didn't read any of those social cues. For me, this was really me knowing that that Seth and I were reading Stephen Hawking's last book together at the same time. I saw it appear on his Instagram, and I was like, and we were reading that at the same time. So for me, that's what I read out of that scene. However, if you are going to read political happenstance, if you're going to read what's happening in our society right now into that story, and massage it in that way for social science, I think that that's brilliant, and I think it's really wonderful because there are lessons to be learned there, and it's being handled in such a way that no one's being infantilized. Nobody's being treated like a child. Nobody's being struck over the head and being told, this is why you're wrong. It's not admonishing. It's compassionating. It's getting you to test what you think and what you know and what you feel. And so I love that you read that into it, Hungry Boy.
Well, even Mercer says he's not sure his decision was correct, too. In one of the later dialogues, he says, I'm not sure resurrecting Isaac was the right thing to do. So even he is confounded. But I think part of it was, Charlie was set up as the, it's not an antagonist in that episode, but just more of the person that needs convincing, right? So I get, I can see your point where, technically she's not unlikable, and a lot of crew members did have the same feelings too, I guess, with Gordon did with so many people getting killed in the attack. So
she'd
but
be
I guess
Stephen Hawking in the room going, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, and that's what Mercer, the captain, said. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do it. But then again, maybe he, Isaac could come up with a defense, and he could be the savior too. So that's the scary thing, or the potential savior.
She quoted our pal Dimcock when she told Gordon to stay angry.
That was pretty funny.
How'd that get in there?
So funny.
DC. I think he was onto something, man.
Yeah, pretty funny. But I just I thought that for me, like when we're fighting for genre, I really care about genre. For us to return to these basic concepts of science fiction where, what's going to happen when we meet extraterrestrial life? How's that going to impact our society? How is technology impacting us right now? How will technology impact us in the future? How will that change the way we treat one another? How will that change the way we live day to day? And for me, that is the heart. That's the nucleus of science fiction, and everything else is centrifugal. It moves out, it fans out from there. And so just seeing this on television, and I did not prep notes tonight, but I'm going to restate my same point from the beginning when we started talking about this. I could not believe, aside of him standing at the one area talking all of his techno babble about the propulsion systems and improving the gas of the car, right? Aside of all that techno babble about this futurism, that this possible science that could be possible one day, and it might be correct, it might not be correct. Aside of all of that, wasn't it great? I mean, it was for me to hear all of the other science fiction being peppered in to the entire story, and no one was crying in hallways waiting for somebody to come by and soothe them by telling them that their feelings were feelings.
Absolutely.
Clubby, what was your take on this first one?
Thank you so much, Eric K, for the $5 super chat. He said, what will happen when we meet aliens? They will have a book to serve mankind. It's a cookbook. I love this episode. I absolutely loved it so much. I've watched it a few times. I thought it was not only brilliantly written, but brilliantly directed. There's the thing that one of my biggest takeaways is the direction by Seth MacFarlane. It's funny how, like, these crappy filth writers have to make all this phony drama. Every time one thing I note, now obviously I stopped watching STD a long time ago, but I have committed the idiocy of watching P. Hard and Strangled Nude Worms. And when I watch these things, I always notice that all of their situations that they get into are all usually based on very phony drama. I've noticed. Well, and they have to do it. They have to shake the ship around. They have to blow a lot of stuff up. They have to yell and scream and cut it. They have to do all these things to elicit. They have to basically grab you by your shoulders and shake you a lot to feel like they are affecting you dramatically in terms of their story. Well, Seth MacFarlane did it with pure silence and a focus on a couple different points on a being that has no face with two little blue eyeballs, little eye lights. And yet he elicited more emotion from me watching that, more genuine feeling every time. And again, with no background music either. This is a couple of these amazing shots of Isaac when he's sitting there after the first time Charlie. By the way, Charlie Burke, Michael Burnham. You don't think that's a swipe?
Yeah.
But when Charlie, the first time she talks, she speaks rudely to him at the table at the beginning. This look on his face, and of course, he also gets this great performance out of Mark Jackson because his all the time really, but with his hand gestures and the way he acts as Isaac is brilliant. When he gets a couple of these shots of that, and then him walking through the corridors, and even especially the really haunting one where he's looking out the window into space, those are remarkable scenes. That again, the subtlety is there in a show that when it was being spectacle. Because Star Trek is not really about spectacle, but it does it sometimes. Where Star Wars should all be about spectacle, and people handling that don't understand that either. Star Wars should be spectacle. Star Trek can have it in it sometimes, but it's not about spectacle. But it just goes. If you look at the few action sequences that are in this episode, one of them is about 10 times better than anything you see on 50 episodes of P Hard or SCD or any of that crap. Like the scene when he had a little kid running through in a dream sequence, running through the corridors, that was incredibly well done.
God, that was great. God.
The other shots of the ship, the space battles, incredibly well done. Okay, and yet he doesn't need that to be exciting. Those scenes are exciting, but it's also exciting and fun when Gordon's flying the Pterodon in the test. Great stuff. But all the real excitement from the episode comes from substance. Comes from substantive performances and dialogue and characterization, and nobody's crying about their fifis. Even in the scene where, Charlie's telling the story about her friend to Isaac, that's well done, and it's not overly. It's perfectly done. It's not. It tells the stories of what happened to her friend, and it's not overly histrionic. It's just right. It's perfect.
We get to explore ideas again instead of people's feelings. And whenever we're talking about people over ideas in these situations, I'm always turned off. A great woman once said, and I believe she was married to one of your presidents, average minds discuss people, brilliant minds discuss ideas, or something along those lines.
It's about ideas.
Yeah.
And this show is about ideas. And again, all the excitement comes occasionally. You'll get something really cool to look at, like the spaceship stuff, which is great because we all love to see a cool spaceship. And when the effects are well done, you have to acknowledge that. Yeah, that's great. I don't need action that much often in my Star Trek, but there's some great episodes where you get Kirk in a fight every now and then and stuff like that. It's cool, but it's not what Star Trek is all about. But you appreciate it sometimes. Whereas on the Orville, they always make that perfect balance. This entire episode is about story, it's about character, and it's about the idea of I don't want to say the S word, the self-deletion.
Yep.
It deals with perfectly. It deals with that. And again, it's gut-wrenching to think we could much like with the character of Data, when the better character episodes of Data on Next Generation, it makes you feel for this machine. Like it, and again, we know that Isaac because of the writing on the show, we know Isaac has now has evolved into more than a machine. Like Crichton on Red Dwarf, he's broken his programming. He's actually a sentient being now. I don't care what anyone says, Data is a sentient being, and now so was Isaac. And this story is, that it could tear your heart out that a quote unquote machine, one part of a very bad bunch that wants to wipe out all sentient beings, offs himself because his ridiculously logical mind says, well, you know how many people in that situation in real life will say the world doesn't need me, nobody cares, it's better off without me. he reasoned that in a cold, hard, logical way. So the function of this ship would be much better without me. Basically, just coldly turns himself off. Except we know there's a little more to it than that, because some of those shots that concentrate on his non-face emote that there's something stirring inside there that feels anguish over what happened and what
guilt, contrition.
Now, there are certain parts in the writing that I would have had Mercer be a little stronger about, and with Burke, and say, look, listen, the reason why your argument is bad, yes, you want revenge, and that's all you want. But the reason why you were wrong is because this being, yes, I know it's scary. I don't know. I'm not sure if I was right, but I'll tell you why we did it. Not just because he's our best chance in this fight, not just because of that, but the fact is, he did not have to turn on his own, and he did. He chose us over his own kind, and he did not have to do that. We were powerless. We were done. We would not be here without him. That needs to be taken into consideration into the bigger picture. But this show, even though that's true, did what intelligence shows always do. It didn't overplay that part. I think he should have said that a little bit more, but it didn't overplay it. It let the audience make their decisions.
Yeah,
that's why that writing was so brilliant.
Writing was brilliant. The direction was brilliant. The acting was brilliant. This episode is one of the best they've done on this show. If it may not be my number one, it's one of the best.
Well,
it's disturbing in a very good way.
I read it a little bit differently, but I completely agree with almost all of your thoughts. For me, just the whole thing with the whole robot thing, I think is pretty incredible. My offspring always says to me, "Why do you say please and thank you to ALEXA?" And
Echo device, your Echo device. Yep.
Yes, I can't say the name, otherwise she'll engage. But anyway, she says, "Why do you always say
engage?"
Yeah, my offspring always says, "Only my mom treats ALEXA with such honor and respect."
I say thank you too sometimes, and she says thank you back.
Yes, she said other things to me too. When I ask her about the weather when I'm in the tub, she asks me how my weekend's going and if there's anything I would like her to do for me for the weekend and things like that. And so knowing that, Seth and I are reading a lot of the same books. And like I said, I go to his Instagram and check into what he's reading quite often. I really felt that in this episode. I didn't feel like this was a political episode at all. Really felt like this was an episode for us to sit down and start considering the fact that these machines have no emotions whatsoever. I don't think that he has those emotions. I don't think Isaac has emotions. But one thing I will say is that I think that the overwhelming evidence that he was shown in people showed that he should be a benefit. A caretaker, a friend, a helper, a person himself. And because of the way we treated him. And when I say we, of course, I mean the folks on the Orville. Whereas this other society enslaved them and abused them. And so we're getting to this Isaac Asimov I, Robot book. That's what we're getting to when we're getting to this, when the Kalons, slayed billions. Hundreds of billions of people. And so that's what I read into it. But, I'm never going to stop saying my please and my thank you to ALEXA because it speaks more volumes about me than it does about the technology or what the technology can manifest in the absence of my due care and attention. And so while we're creating these things, even if they're not sentient, we need to be certain of our own behavior, because how we act when no one's watching is a bigger reflection on us than all of these vanity metrics and all these things that this attention economy is teaching us, that nothing we do matters unless someone else is watching. And it's certainly not true. And so if we engage with that iRobot idea of Isaac Asimov, and we engage with what my offspring is saying about how we're treating artificial intelligence, I think that that's what's floating around in Seth MacFarlane's head in this episode. However, I will say that I absolutely respect every single thing that everyone else is reading into this text and what they're getting out of this text. And someone, before we move on, someone was saying something about the way that Isaac moves his fingers. I want you all, if you are interested in this, I would really love it if you would go and learn about the talons. Yeah, talons. Seth MacFarlane is a massive Gene Roddenberry fan. And I need you to go and watch, oh my goodness, just slipped my mind.
Earth Final Conflict.
Yep.
Snail Messiah, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Snail Messiah. And you will see that the talons, Da'an and everyone, all the talons, they do the same spirit finger gesticulations. So it's quite lovely. Like when Isaac is missing from his chair, and we think about Leonard Nimoy and Spock being missing from his chair. Remember, this person is a highly intelligent person. Seth MacFarlane is a highly intelligent person. You wouldn't know it from his stupid potty humor loser shows that he makes the cartoons.
Or his political posts, but go ahead.
Or any of that stuff. But I love the books he reads. He is a brilliant musician. He is a brilliant person. Of course, I line up with him a little bit more in the things he says on social media. But aside of all of that, I just want you to know that he is a very intelligent person, and don't miss opportunities to see what he's really saying to you, because he is a devout science fiction person, and he does know his Gene Roddenberry. So when you're thinking Kalon finger movement, I want you to think of talons. I want you to think of Da'an. And when you see that seat empty, when you look over at Isaac's chair and he's not there, I want you to think about how Captain Kirk felt when he looked up and he saw that Spock wasn't in his chair. There's some beautiful stuff happening.
The 40th anniversary of Wrath of Khan. So yeah, that shot is definitely an homage to that. There's no way that a Trek fan wouldn't watch that and say Spock is missing or Isaac is missing. The science officer, the tech person. So. Mm-hmm. And really well done. Just it's a quick scene, quick edit, great direction, and it doesn't mope around in the hallways with the camera.
No,
it doesn't talk about getting out of the comfort zone by eating mac and cheese. It's just a quick camera shot, and just tells you all that you need to know. Sometimes less is more. I mean, it's an old cliche, but it's a good cliche sometimes. So when you do photography or art. Sometimes those simple designs, look at the design of the Coca-Cola can or the Coke logo, right? There's something about it that you see that silhouette of that glass bottle and that's a Coca-Cola, right? It doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles, but instantly you know what it is. So sometimes by not going overboard and all the CGI looks nice, but it doesn't do anything for me in the long run. I mean, it's fun, but it's not. You got to give me a good story, otherwise I'm
respect your audience.
Not gonna like it, yeah.
Respect your audience. Treat your audience like the proper demographic, the proper psychographic that they are. That they read science fiction novels. They're smart. That they're caring. Already know they're progressive. So there's nothing to teach them here. There's no hyperdidacticism or hegemony is required here. What we want to do is we want to bask in the freedom of being able to be amongst ourselves and celebrating that science fiction, celebrating that Star Trek. And we can do that here. The space is being created by Seth MacFarlane so that we can do that here. And I just think it's magnificent. The first episode, absolutely, hands down for me, it's a 10 out of 10. And I'm saying that even though I despise the comedy in it. I hate it, but it's still a 10 out of 10 for me.
Comedy? Which comedy?
Just like
some of the throwaway lines,
some of the little
side
throwaways.
humor.
Mm-hmm.
Did they really do that much this time? I'm trying to remember now.
Well,
I'm trying to remember
a little bit, but not a lot. There are some.
I was so focused on how much I like. I'm trying to remember if there was that much of any.
In the opening, I think they had
it.
a couple of, or later after that big opening they had.
Yeah.
There's always just like
you should remember them, but no, I hear you.
Yeah, there's always a few little gags. Like even the second episode had a few. You know, they always throw in some few.
Pop Culture
few
Republic.
Gags,
I like the Hitchhiker's Guide reference. Your plastic pal who's fun to be with. Yeah. So, well, I guess we should rate it. Sort of like this is Thursday Night Orville. Whatever.
Okay, Thursday Night Orville. This is an A+ for me.
Oh, we're gonna, okay, yeah, we'll do. I was doing the number system, but for this, we'll do it the special Saturday Night Star Trek rating system. In that case, I give it an A+ as well. Mark,
yeah, we give it an A+ too. Yeah, it was a nice change. It was such a and that's again with tackling a serious subject matter, and it was in some ways a very depressing episode, but that doesn't mean it's not a good episode.
Oh, it's disturbing. It's hard. I mean, it's uncomfortable in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And whether you're Clobby, where you believe that Isaac is sentient, or whether you're like me, where you believe that you're being tapped on the shoulder to remember what you impart on this world through the strength of your words, the strength of your touch, the way you behave. Tons to celebrate here, because this is one of the biggest issues in science fiction and in society today, in futurism and in science. This is such a huge topic, and I think just a master stroke in dealing with it. Loved it.
Yeah, I think Isaac evolved beyond his programming, because he certainly understands emotions now. Because remember, everyone forgets he hasn't just been on the Orville among humans. He spent 700-something years on a planet full of emotional beings. At one point in the first season, remember, was it 700 years?
Yeah, so I think he could be. I think he could have evolved. I mean, but that's the beauty of it too. It's not. They don't tell you. They don't tell you, so you can think about it. Like there's the one way programming is logical, right? And that's a logical decision. He's affecting the crew. The other way is there's a little spark in there that says, hey, I'm going to turn myself off. I'm not going to use the other word. I'm going to turn myself off. And that way, I'm not going to hurt people that I'm starting to care about. So, and that's the debate that we're all going to face. I mean, obviously, maybe not in our lifetimes. It might happen where, these computers keep getting more and more intelligent. I mean, I was a kid that kept talking about someday there'll be wires in the road and the cars will be able to follow the wires and we won't be driving anymore. And then, flying cars. But now it's, no one predicted, I'm sure some people did, but that wasn't the consensus, that the cars would become so smart that they would actually be able to drive themselves. I mean, they're still not there yet totally, but they do have, some steering assist, grandma, we've got her, her latest car has, all the features, so she, God forbid, she can't hit anyone or hit a pedestrian, or so it's.
I have all of that. I call my car Kit now.
Keep you in the lanes, right? So I mean, think of that. I have a '67 Mustang that hasn't been on the road in a while, but the first time
you have a '67 Mustang.
Yep.
Oh my God, you have a '67 Mustang.
Steve has a '65.
Yeah, Steve has two Mustangs. Yeah,
ponies.
Yeah, they haven't been on the road in a while.
I'm so jealous right now. I can't even handle it. You have a '67 Mustang. What color is it?
It's color code 4F, which if you're a Mustang, that is silver gray with a black hardtop.
I've never hated you more than I hate you right now. I love you, Mark.
That's a loving hate there.
Yeah. Thank you. But then my other point was going to be sorry about that.
You're not just going to.
But it hasn't ridden. I got to every summer. I'm going to get back on the road. Maybe this summer we'll see. But when my wife drove it the first time, she's like, "Your car's broken." He's like, "It barely stopped. It's hard to steer. It makes all kinds of noises." And this was, in the 90s, cars are even so much better today. I'm like, well, yeah, it's got 4-way drum brakes. The power steering's pretty limited. The suspension is primitive. It's a car that's older than us. So I think, if like a kid today, when to drive an old car, the same analogy with computers. I mean, who knows how? Good night, Michael. Yep.
Well, Michael's
I mean,
not
like
leaving.
the
He just
Echo
can't
device.
participate in the chat anymore. So good night to the Beacons. Good night, Michael. +1.
Okay, take it easy,
Sending
buddy.
our best to you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, like, did you ever think you'd have a speaker you could talk to and tell it to play infinite music? I could name any song and it would play it. I mean,
I'm shocked. I am shocked at what's happening with the devices in my home. I was telling Lord Thoth this a few months ago. Oh goodness, it could be more than a few months ago. But I felt really crazy one morning, or maybe it was an evening while I was preparing dinner. I don't really recall. But she, the girl, Alexa.
yeah.
I asked her to play some some music for me.
Yeah.
And she said, playing dark academia classical. It's like,
you read my mind.
What? How is that a category? That's not a category. What? Wow. And so like,
and then she said, I made it just for you, Raquel. Don't be nervous.
No, somebody else did, but she found it for me. And that's the most bizarre thing out of all of that, is that list exists somewhere and that she knew I wanted to listen to it. By the way, I fully endorse it. That's such a great list that you have to listen to it. It's one of the best classical playlists on the little box. I can't say her name, but Mark, I agree with you. She's learning so much about me.
Right? Yeah, they know what you like, right? Because I have one of those on my desk with the screen. And then it just pulled up my son working on the Mustang. Now, I don't know, was it listening? Or was that was like a year ago? It's a month ago. It gives a date. So it's got my son working. I mean, you wonder. It's like, and it's kind of cool, actually. Like, I don't mind that so much. It's like, I people complain about the targeted ads on the internet. It's like, I want, Star Trek and action figure ads. I don't want, advertising for Depends undergarments just yet. It's so the targeted ads aren't, it's just when they have too much information about you, and they then they reset, that's a whole other discussion. But just on the face of it, the targeted ads aren't so bad in some ways, but there's obviously huge potential for abuse. So
this, I just have to say, this is the most accurate and outstanding message I have ever received on the internet ever. This person definitely knows me. Hungry Boy, you're hysterical. This is exactly what was going on, like exactly to the letter. And I love you so much. I just think you're the best, Hungry Boy.
Who's ready to move on to the next episode? This
Let's
past
do
week's
it,
episode.
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. Oops, sorry. All right, everybody. Spoilering and morning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off.
So, all right, folks.
Oh, Dadman Walking is leaving, honey.
Good to
Take
see
care,
you, buddy.
Dadman.
Happy birthday, late birthday. There,
yeah,
buddy.
happy birthday. Hope you got lots of bacon.
Good night, sweet person.
Indeed.
And tell your
All right,
family
Pop
we
Culture
said good
Republic.
night as well.
Be good, Pop Culture Republic. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. Okay, here's a spoiler. We're talking about the latest
Night,
episode
Pop.
of
Take care, Pop.
of the Orville that just dropped yesterday, called Shadow Realms.
And just so everyone knows, you don't have to leave. You don't have to run out of the room. We're not going to like massage this episode, forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
We're just going to touch upon it.
Yes. When you see this Chiron go off, we're done with spoilering.
Dun,
So you can just check back every now and then. You can turn the sound out. But appreciate you being here. Yeah, but so who is Redry?
I'm Redry.
And
I promise I won't ruin it for everyone.
No. Look,
Well,
you
we
say
got
whatever you
spoilers
want.
there.
We've got the alert there. Anyone, you can say whatever you want. We understand. Now, let's see, Hungry Boy's muted.
Okay.
See, anyone else, hey, they can wait. They're cool. I mean, they're fine. So, because we're going to do this for the rest of the season. We're going to, I've decided after doing this tonight, we're going to review everyone.
Oh, good. I'll prep notes next time so I don't sound like an idiot.
If you want. So, okay. Anyway, well, everyone else is doing it. Why can't we do it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? So, number one, begin. I have to go get some water. So you
Go ahead.
take the con. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. So good things about this episode. I just want to say right off the hop, not the strongest episode, I don't think, but as an author, I think I know what's happening. And I think that he did a pretty good job of this. And that is that that I think that he was trying to introduce a like an enemy, a villain that cannot be vanquished, something that is scary to people like the Borg. And so I think that this entire episode was meant to introduce this new alien species that's, that we're going to really be afraid of. Because, I think basically, like, the Federation, Seth's Federation, is going to be expanding. He's having a lot of fun with introducing all of these alien creatures. He loves playing with their languages, not using the universal translator. He loves taking advantage of CGI in comical ways so that we really enjoy it. But we need something scary, something that will raise the stakes where we'll be frightened, and where it wouldn't be political. And so in that way, I think that this was a stroke of genius. But Jason, who has since left the room, was correct. I didn't really like the horror aspects of it. It reminded me of the episode in TNG where we had, poor Barclay becoming a nasty spider. And it reminded me of some of the episodes of like the body horror in Voyager.
I was thinking of you watching it. I'm like, oh God, Raquel's not going to like this certain scenes.
Yeah, and so it just.
I know you don't like that stuff. Yeah.
Well, there's a common denominator to that. He's called Brandon Braga. I'm going to get to that more on that later. But Brandon Braga is obsessed with turning people into monsters. And God bless him on the Orville. I love him for doing what he's doing. But Jesus God. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and I was just going to say the same thing, the Brandon Braga factor. I was really hoping that Seth would keep that down to a dull roar, because he can get a little ridiculous with the body horror. And I mean, once he starts going, we all witnessed this in TNG. He's pretty hard to stop.
Yeah.
And this whole idea that I really loved the script. I liked the way that it was rendered. I didn't have any problems with it. I do think on a go forward basis to introduce a species that would create the risk and the fear and the tension and the situations they need without going the political route to not involve politics, I think is intelligent. And that's what I kind of think as an author. I kind of think that that's what's happening here. So I do say bravo for introducing a new species that's going to be like Spider-Borgs. And that will give them an avenue to explore that is non-political. It will make for some easier writing. However, that comes with a caveat. The caveat is if you allow Brandon Braga to go too far with this, you're going to create all of those horrendously shitty episodes. I'm sorry for using profanity on air.
That's right.
Language.
But these horrendously poopy episodes. Hey, Maze.
Hey, Mazers.
And it will go wrong really fast. Now, Nirot just said something in the chat that I would like to touch upon, and that is that I did feel there were some aspects of Tin Man here, but I also felt that there were some aspects of Farscape here. I could feel something going wrong with Moya. And so I really like the fact that Brandon Braga is being tempered by Seth's strong relationship with science fiction. His unwillingness to go to science fantasy, and he certainly has the education to do science fiction. He doesn't need to do science fantasy.
Braga didn't work on I don't think he worked on Farscape though. But go ahead.
No, but I just think that we need to be careful, because this episode to me was not outstanding. It was a little too easy. Everybody has a little arachnophobia. Everyone's a little afraid of spiders. And that's cool and stuff. But it's just, I know Seth. I know the books he reads. Like, I know him. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the thing that he's making here. And I've been watching the books he reads. And I know this man is very intelligent. He's highly intelligent and a talented jazz musician. I really, really
very talented fellow.
Yeah. But you know, he better be careful. He better be careful, because this could go sideways really quickly. And those Brandon Braga episodes were not good episodes.
Right.
No one
keep Brandon in check. Keep Brandon. Look, you can have one monster episode every 5 seasons. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want too many salt vampires.
Oh God, this is that. Yeah, but at least that wasn't like someone turning in. He likes to turn people into monsters.
But I would say the salt vampire wasn't the body horror thing. I don't think.
No, yeah, but I just meant like thing. Monster of the week kind of.
I thought it was pretty incredible that the salt vampire introduced the plight of the bison, introduced the plight of the buffalo in North America, and so touching back immediately onto science fiction instead of science fantasy was pretty cool there for me as far as the salt vampire goes. But I realize I see what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I was just throwing it out as like a
just throwing it out like as an example.
Right.
But I just I didn't like the horror aspects of it. I didn't I like alarm bells were going off when they were like, oh, this is their religion and this is heaven or hell and these are demons. And then they were sort of like, all religious people are like that. Don't
I like that. I like that
on does that. It always is disrespectful of religious people. I love the show, but they do that every time.
Yeah.
Well, but I think but in the end, I think the religious people were vindicated. So I think that's one of the things I liked about it. I had a lot of problems with this episode, and relative to the other Orville episodes, I would give it a thumbs down, but that's not a thumbs down. You know, it's a relative rating.
You can rate it later, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I did like it, but I had, as I was watching, I had some big problems. And first
let's give the floor over to you. I've talked way long enough, so let's give the floor over to you. And I'm just going to ask you, tell me what you thought of the episode. What were the things that you liked, and maybe some of the things you disliked? Mark, take the floor and unpack what you feel.
Well, I did really like the idea of, quote unquote, making fun of someone's religious beliefs and putting that parentheses, obviously. And then it turning out that, and as Mercer says, maybe as it was written, this is their interpretation of what really happened. And it turned out to be 100% true in terms of they weren't, demons, religious demons per se, but it was true that if you went to that sector in that part of the galaxy that, these creatures were going to infect you. So there was a truth to that. So that's what I liked. It wasn't just making fun of the Krill as religious fanatics. There was a truth behind that mythos there, which I thought was a nice touch. And I think Seth is agnostic. I don't want to say what, I'm not sure, but is he?
No, he's a stone cold atheist. I love the Orville, but he does things all the time on that show that he does not respect religious people.
Yeah. So, but I think putting that part in, at least he was showing both sides. So I did
know about that. But go ahead.
But on this episode, I thought he put, he had those lines in there. So I thought that for me, as a semi-religious person, that I wasn't offended by it. So other people could take it the other way. The other thing I like, was exploring new space, but I thought it was kind of a quirky setup. Like they had to go through this other sector of space and to deal with the Krill. It was almost like the Krill were put in there just to have that religious aspect. Like, why couldn't you just go around their space? But that's maybe just, nitpicking. The parts that I didn't like in terms of engineering side, you're going to this crazy ship that's quasi-organic, and where are your environmental suits, or where's the doctor saying let's test people, let's be careful when we go here,
or biofilters? But yeah, they should have worn them first, and don't bring an admiral, a first officer, and a captain either. But
yeah. So that I thought was kind of nuts,
dodgy away team.
Especially when the creature or the bulb, or the alien egg, for lack of a better word, expanded, and the admiral's looking right at it. I mean, it just seemed kind of crazy to me, unless their technology is so good that, when you get back to the ship, you're going to be decontaminated. But I thought that was a weak sci-fi. Like, I thought they should have had, maybe a protective suit, and somehow this creature's able to get through the protective suit, or like in,
well, when they go back, they certainly are wearing suits. So that's a good point, right? Mark.
And or like in Star Trek, Naked Now, when the guy takes his glove off, and a crew member screws up or something. But that's the engineer brain thinking. I did like the organic versus the machine part of it. They're introducing this. You've got the Isaac's supercomputer race versus this new organic threat. The other parts I didn't like were just the way the episode ended, where it just didn't pull together in the end. You had now you've established that they're going to be this threat, but then Penny says leave, which is great acting and well written there, but where did the creatures go? I mean, this other ship just shows up. Did they just float into space? Did they have a shuttlecraft?
They didn't chronicle it, but
yeah, and that other ship would have been maybe so much more powerful. The Orville had its power off, and that creature who was the admiral would have known that their power systems are crippled, and why would they
had all the security codes.
Codes, they could have destroyed them pretty. Maybe they can't stay on the ship because of the Penny. They have a defense if the creatures are on the ship. And the other two things quickly were the aftermath. How many crew members were assimilated, and what happened to them? And there was no kind of sadness.
The fact that they were just willing to cut them loose too, instead of like trying to
save them,
or trying to undo.
Yeah.
Like what's been done. But I do have to say that it is more realistic, because once your DNA has undergone such a gruesome transformation, just coming back to normal wouldn't be easy. But I would have liked them to say that, like, as a fellow author, I wish someone on the writing team would have said, I once loved you, but we're going to have to infect you all and possibly wipe out your entire race if you don't leave. I want to help you, but your DNA has so irreparably altered your physical appearance that your skeletal system or your nervous system or something, or just your anatomy could not withstand undoing this. Like, just say something there. But that was the standard sci-fi episode too. They would have found a cure, and they would have put them through the transporter. They would have been back to normal, in some way, so that part was good too. There wasn't an instant cure, like we saw in TNG all the time, where they just throw people through the transporter. But it needed a little bit, like 10 more minutes. I said last night on Nerdporial Lifeforms chat, I said it needed 10 more minutes maybe to explain things, or to tie up some of those loose ends, and how many crew members were killed, and what happened. Wouldn't there be better security in the ship? It seemed like Mark, the ship was empty at some points. It was really weird. That's typical of that Brannon Braga fellow. Like, every time they let him do this, the same thing happens every time they leave him alone to color by himself. First he snaps the crayons, then he starts sticking them in his butt and ears and eyes, and then he's chewing them.
Brundlefly, right?
Exactly. Let's turn to the chat for a second here, because there are some really, really great comments coming out, and I want to engage the chat before we get to Clobby, because I think he's just going to unload. Could not be reached for further comment. Says, they are not going to do a treaty with the Kalon to take on the bugs, are they? That seems too obvious.
Seems like it.
Love this comment, and also it sort of made everything was too tidy towards making it seem as though this treaty with the Krill is solid. So I really liked that comment. And Chris has got something to say here. I see parallels with Ant episode Extinction. This
written
new
by Braga.
species. seems to be a stand-in for the Suliban, and John Fleck, who is played by Silic,
Fleck was in that.
The Krill ambassador in this episode.
That's true.
Coincidence?
I noticed him. Yeah. Well, Braga wrote that one.
Yeah, so I love that Chris Purchase said that. And I think that's all I have for now. I try and read what everyone is saying in the chat, and I will try and address as much as I possibly can. Anyway, Mark, any closing comments on more things that you didn't like? I know on these streams it's hard to get your vocabulary together, and it's hard to get your ideas together if you don't have notes. So anything else that comes to
I just
mind?
say I thought the acting was excellent. Penny and the relationship with the Admiral was well done. At some points it seemed like they're going to have to call HR on him, but I was like, where's this going to go? But it was handled well and intelligently, and that you did feel that he really realized that he screwed up. So it was that emotional tie there when he asked to put the wedding ring back on, and they tied that in with this, a sci-fi, the scan to find out where the Admiral was, or the creature that he'd become. Mm-hmm. So that was they're nice touches. I just didn't think it wrapped up in a night. Not that it has to wrap up in a nice, neat ball, but I think there were some threads left dangling that should have been answered. They don't have to say, "Oh, this is going to be the next new bad villain that we're going to reach again." But I just some of those plot points, I thought, here we go.
Disagrees with you.
The aliens are here, but they could be a great new set of great new adversary. But the thing is, when you've got a creature like that can just spray you when you turn into the bad guys, it's like, wouldn't they have taken over the whole ship too? I mean, it was just that part. I think they should have showed more of the defenses of the ship, or had something to kind of show how it was limited. Because how much of the crew did they lose? They lose like half the crew, or you think they would have been more emotional?
They might address how many they lost later.
Yeah, there should have been something on that, like in memoriam, or some kind of addressing what had happened when you lose. That was a ton of. I mean, I know you could go back and count, I guess, but there are quite a few of those creatures on the ship. It was it wasn't just like 2 or 3 people got assimilated. So
yeah, well,
Clobby,
this was
honey, what did you think?
Again, there's a lot to like and a lot to dislike about this episode. Most of it's been touched on. Start with some of the stuff I liked. I like the fact that still all the performances, were excellent, and we still got a lot of good crew stuff. Because I don't really like horror stuff either. I think the scene that I enjoyed the most, just from a pure spectacle standpoint, was seeing Tala get that kick ass in that bay. With those getting when she walked in, I'm like, I love it because she has superpowers. If they disappoint me like other shows recently, I'm gonna be, because I want it to be clobbering time, and I want her to whack these dudes, and that was great.
It's so funny because smart people want to be satisfied in that way. They don't want it to play out like it typically plays out on TV. And it's so weird you should say that, because I don't like violence, but I totally enjoyed that. That was so satisfying. Instead of having the woman being smothered by these creatures or somehow disabled or injured, instead she kicks their ass from here to Topeka.
I'm not big on ultra violence. I don't mind. I like violence sometimes, and of course, I like action when it's fun. And she's got superpowers. I like that this is one of the few times she got to use it, where she gets to cut loose against these. By the way, let's see sources for these aliens. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to set up a new big bad. Did anyone think about Cthulhu? I don't know. And I also thought
it was creepy. It was creepy.
I also thought about the spider aliens from Valiant Comics, but I don't know if that's much more. That's a little obscure for them. But yes, he's trying to create a secondary big bad that's going to play in line, and it's also going to play with that. That Admiral's going to play into it in the future. Mm-hmm. They'll probably bring his character back. The use of the War of the Worlds solution at the end, that was fine. I kind of liked that. It was interesting. No problem there. They need to learn how to pick away teams, though. First of all, if he wants to go be Kirk about it, fine. But, and I know Kirk used to take Spock with him. But I think you probably leave Kelly if you're bringing an admiral over there, which really was kind of, I don't know, but the admiral's the admiral. Then you leave Kelly in charge. You bring Bortus and Talia, maybe even Isaac.
Isaac's got to go, right? That's what I was thinking.
Isaac, and of course John. I don't really agree with their choice of away team. And then, like I said, just the idea of not going on to a crazy thing like that's so unknown without suits first instead of the second time when it didn't matter as much. I don't know. They need to work.
Well, for me, the TOS thing is like for me, like no one can call me out on the fact that Kirk is on an away team with Spock, and that Scotty sometimes goes, and so on and so forth. I don't care about that because in TOS it's very clear that they are astronauts that have military training, who they're out exploring the galaxy. And this is the best of the best of the best. And they want to be engaged in scientific research, in medical research, in exobiology. They're out discovering the world. And so them being on an away team with such a small senior staff makes sense. You send the experts. I think where things start to go a little murky for people in the general public when they're watching these shows is when they do what TNG tried to do, especially after Gene Roddenberry passed away. And that is to turn it into we're not a military. We're also not astronauts. This is the love boat. And there are children on board, and we're all, this is like a biosphere unto itself. We're like a traveling planet. And when people get that in their mind, that's when you start to see that intellectual creep, the creep of that nagging feeling that someone who has 1,050 plus lives, including women and children, family, the elderly, back on the ship, they shouldn't be on an away team. And that's why these writers need to give their head a shake, wipe the poop off of themselves, and realize that if you're going to write science fiction, write science fiction. There's no need to go directly to science fantasy and to start this sort of soap opera where people have to ask these dumb questions. Why are they on the away team? No one would ever question Kirk being on an away team. And that's because of the nature of the situation.
But yeah, no, you're right. But that's a minor quibble. I felt the episode, again, I don't like horror either, but at least it did handle it pretty well. I certainly understand all the concerns people have, like with things like the how did they get off the ship? And Mark, one of the things about that, I think that I don't know. I'm not sure entirely with your interpretation in the sense that I think that the conversation between the admirals, with the admiral at the beginning, he sounded like they were really scoffing at religion because they've taken stabs at religious people before. I'm not religious. You are, which is fine. Yeah. But they've, they not that it bothers me. I still love the show, but I've seen, I've the instances on the Orville, even in the first and second season, especially first, where they've taken kind of jabs at religious people. Because again, which is fine. Seth doesn't like them, and that's his business. But this seemed like more like it was a bit of a stab at religious people as well. What they were saying, but it's fine. I just think that that's kind of a thing he has. But it's not a big deal. I mean, it didn't bother me or anything.
Well, it used to get Gene Roddenberry into fights with Michael Piller.
Well, but Seth is he's pretty he doesn't care about it. So I mean, he doesn't care for them. So it's his show, but he doesn't do it too much. And but let's face it, the Krill. There was an episode where I think it was admirals, and they were talking about how it was so unusual for a race that advanced to still have any religion whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And that's a belief a lot of these people have, but that's fine. Whatever. That's just a minor thing. I still think the episode, while not particularly clear and toward the end kind of murky, and it was uplifted by that. I'm sorry, that hilariously fun fight with Talia and the aliens, and then the fact that it was still an intelligent ending. Remember when they were about to just blast them? Even Mercer did say, "Well, these are some of our people. That we got to at least try to save them." And stuff. So
that was a good point too. Yep.
Yeah, and it was still pure Trek all the way. It's an episode that I think is not one I mean, nowhere near the strongest or the greatest of the episodes
No.
we've seen, but it doesn't make me worried about anything going forward because, you know, it's still okay. It's still entertaining and good to watch. And I'm still crazy about next week and can't wait. So,
well, I'm crazy about next week too, but I'm not quite as hopeful as you. I think it would be a very good idea if somebody walked in and said to Brandon Braga, like, no.
Well, the only reason they let him get away with this, Seth.
No, baby, no.
Seth wanted to make a new big bad out of these Cthulhu spider
That's what
things.
I think too.
And Brennan said, "What are we turning people into?" And, you know, I'm giving him credit here. I kid. I'll give him credit. The other ways he turned people into monsters was really stupid. Everyone, this one wasn't all that bad because it did. I mean, these beings, rather than whereas the Borg attached their nanoprobes and stuff to people to change them. These aliens, you know, they can touch people and in other words, they're not just eating people. They're not just slaughtering people. They're actually transforming them into their own kind and assimilating them
like
just
the Borg.
like organics versions of the Borg. As concepts go, I don't think that's that bad. It's gross. It's disturbing. And Brandon got his rocks off getting a little monster transformation thing. But I got to admit, of all of his monster transformation things, that's the least silly. I mean, that's the one that at least is more of a science fiction concept.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. It made fit the story. I just wish they had explained it a little bit better or showed more precaution. And part of that is because the Orville is so well written. You know, maybe some people might think that's nitpicky but it does take you out of the story a little bit, in my opinion, when you're used to good writing and paying attention to all those details. And certain things can slip by, and these are ships that can go faster than light, but you know, you got to work within that universe, and it just seems ridiculous that they would be wearing, you know, some kind of environmental suits going, especially with the warnings and this is an unknown space, no one's ever been there. There's a strange ship that doesn't make sense to them. There's a distress signal, you know, all those things. But the creatures themselves were interesting in the setup. That kind of race.
They look good. You know, they did a good job making them look pretty scary.
They're so disgusting. And Anaximander says, write Seth a letter, Raquel. Neerot, we laugh and joke that Tom Constantino cares about us and that they quoted Doomcock and all these things. We joke about this, but we know they don't care about us, honey. If I wrote a letter to Seth MacFarlane, I'm quite certain that it, not only would he never see it, but even if he did, he would not give a single F, what I think, about the writing, you know. But
and he gets millions and millions of them anyway.
Yeah, so, exactly, right?
Even if he did, he couldn't afford to because he would never have time to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fair to him. I mean, look, this episode, I think Seth let Brandon Braga do this so he could have his be bad. Now he's like, okay, no more monster transformation crap. I'll let you do one. If we make it to season 8, you could do another one. But right now, you've got all your stupid monster. Now he's going to be happy though, right? Because next time these things show up, he'll be able to see all the monsters changing and people changing in the monsters that he wants, right? He's got his fill.
And you can get rid of a crew member that way too, pretty easily, right? I mean, if you don't like someone on the show, boom, then you just.
I hope they don't use them that much, to be honest with you. I mean, we've got our hands full with the Kalon. Leave them in their stupid shadow realm. And you know what? Quite frankly, there was kind of a little ship going into that part of space. So they should leave. I hate it when they don't. Sometimes on these shows exercise the better part of valor and go, you know what? On second thought, we're not going back over there. It's not worth it. We now know that really big, dangerous bad. We're going to put warnings everywhere. We're going to tell the krill, you know what, you guys?
Maybe you're right.
Nasty in there. Don't go back. The krill won't go in anyway.
No.
So, because you have one ship, and that was convenient. The krill should only one ship can go through, and you know, it was all kinds of that. That kind of stuff. Where I guess it's their space, so I guess they wouldn't want an armada. But I mean, that part was kind of I can kind of ignore that part, but it didn't make sense too because the Orville's not, they've upgraded the ship, but it's still not a heavy cruiser just to go in one ship.
Wow, smaller ship.
Pop culture curator says, Raquel, I saw your Twitter post. You don't like the creature from the Black Lagoon?
On the contrary.
On the contrary, the creature from the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite things ever in the whole world.
Especially that video.
The video that Clobby gave me is it's very soothing. It's something that you can carry through your whole life. And
Brandon Braga would love it.
I was laughing when you played that today. Yeah, I tagged. Give you a thumbs up on that one. Yeah,
just sometimes I'm just
F that.
Sometimes you just have to deal with things in a Clobby way.
Was that in reference to the R&B post or?
I don't know. R&B. Look, I want to see that episode now, so I know whether I'm going to hate him or not.
Look, I love R&B. He's polite. He's kind. He has the same initials as me. He he's very sweet. He's always been very sweet to me. Right. Nice man. But that comment that
I hope he's trolling.
He better be trolling because of that. Those were some serious expletives I used in that chat.
We'll have to find
out because you wrote something in our private chat, and I was laughing, and you had to write, well, that not directed at you, Mark.
Yeah,
that was funny today. I was laughing when I saw it, but I knew it wasn't. That's not what you meant. So, but then
let's get the Hungry Boy back at. So we'll go ahead and do our rating.
Let's get Hungry Boy back.
Rating? Okay, number 1, your rating of Shadow Realms.
I'm sorry, but I got to give this one a B+.
You say that like it's a bad rating. Jesus Christ. Nothing to apologize. Anyway, I don't care if you give it an F, you don't apologize. But I mean, that's not like a bad rating. Okay, I hear you. Marky?
Well, I would give it a B-. I was going to make a joke about the Lord Thoth rating system. You add a grade to his rating.
A D, probably.
Probably give it a D. But B- B- because it missed too many plot holes.
I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a B- also. I think I'm just because when on the 1 to 10, I really gave it like a 7.5 or 7 maybe. Because it has a lot of. I mean, it's still
that's what I gave it in my head.
It's not like a detestable episode. So it's got things I wish they hadn't done. I think they should have done something different. But we still get to see the crew. They're always good. Yeah. And we get some fun stuff in here and there. So it's not a waste. I don't think it's bad.
The reason why I had to give it a plus was I still feel the momentum. Do you still feel the momentum, Mark?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
That is not a bump in the road at all.
Yeah, it's not like you watch episode. Oh, that's not the Orville anymore. What happened to the show? It didn't. It's not. Yeah. It's just every show is gonna have clunkers too, and this is far from a clunker. It was just a little bit little bit disappointed in the episode.
I still like it. I just it's fun. I plan to watch it again. In fact, right now because I do this, I got my app on my phone, and I'm not, even though I'm doing this and not watching it, and I just turned it on because I want to get it some good ratings. So sometimes I just turn my app on, even if I can't watch the show, and get it a view.
That's what the Orville needs right now. The Orville needs us to be 1,000% behind it, creating as many vanity metrics, as many metric impressions, as much force in the attention economy as we can throw behind it. If we want some traction, if we want to show, if we want to, demonstrate in a practical way what we want to watch.
Yep, we're back, everyone. No more spoilering. And if you want to put a rating in, you can, of course, but if you just feel like it, but no more spoilering anybody. So Hungry Boy will see that. No,
come back.
You can't hear us. So
sorry, Hungry Boy. We did talk for a while, but you had to give it a good.
Might not hear us yet. I don't think he could hear us yet. Probably, but he'll see it eventually. We don't have it up there. And what is everybody? Speaking of, we all watch so much to review that. We'll probably are any of you watching anything that in other words, we have 4 episodes of TNG to review. Now we're reviewing the Orville. Now we're what else? Oh, we had to review RoboCop, which was great, but it was so much fun getting to watch it again. I love that movie. That movie's
great movie. Yeah,
great movie. Makes me want to watch RoboCop too. I got to watch it soon. But anyway, still, we're watching them for reviews. Just when you do have a little bit of time on your hands, is there anything anybody's watching right now? Because even I am, and I'm surprised. So does anyone? Hey, Pleasant Valley.
Good to see you.
Hey, Pleasant Valley.
Anybody have anything they're watching that's not a review requirement right now.
Well, I'm still trying to get through UFO, but I'm behind on my Star Trek.
UFO.
UFO.
Earth's Final Conflict and UFO, boss.
That's what you're watching again? You still watching them both?
Yeah, nothing else is worth watching.
You know what I'm watching now? I was, because I needed something. I'm sitting around. I said, man, I don't know. What do I want to watch right now? Because I've just gotten through, I watched the Justice League animated series. I can't binge that. You know, talking about stuff that I actually want to, not that I don't
want to watch. Yeah.
In other words, I don't have to
Comfort
watch.
food.
I mean, you hate to say you have to watch RoboCop because I love it, but you know what I mean. I had to watch the review it, and you know, even TNG.
You are hungry boy. I beg your pardon, boss. Yes,
we're back, buddy.
We're finished, sweetheart, and we're so happy that you're back. We've missed you, so thank you for putting us on mute. We love you. Sorry about that, hun.
I was messing around with Tubi because they got a lot of stuff on there. I don't know if you have Tubi. It's incredible.
Yes, we have Tubi in Canada.
You got commercials, but it's not that bad. And I'm jerking around on Tubi. I go, oh. And so, you know what? I realized that I either didn't watch all of this series because it didn't last long, or I couldn't remember. So I started watching V the series, not the miniseries. I already watched those a bunch. Anybody remember those? No, the real one, not that modern drivel.
No.
Yeah.
It only lasts one season,
years
19
since I watched
episodes.
It. It's been a long time.
Everybody, we got to tap the brakes. I'm so sorry. I beg your pardon for interrupting, but
Chris
Persia is leaving. Chris, we love you so much. He says, sorry, gang. It's about to hit 12:30, so I'm going to say goodnight to you all. Take care. Chris, we love you so much. Thank you for wrenching for us tonight. We love you so much, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah. Good night.
Thanks, Chris. Take care. Have a great day tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just landed on it. Yes, the Lizard Men. That's right. And of course, I've watched the original miniseries, which is greatness, many times, and even the Final Battle, which its creator hates, Kenneth Johnson. But I liked it. It was goofier though. But I never really watched the series that much. I think I watched like one or two back when it came on in '87. And I don't remember ever finishing it. So I'm about halfway through it right now.
God, I can't remember what happened.
Because it's so old, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a fun goof, I'm enjoying it. Okay.
I love Yellowstone. I want Yellowstone to come back on.
Yellowstone's
I miss
awesome,
Rick Wheeler.
I'm not done with that. And I can see why you don't like Jamie now after watching.
See?
Yeah, see, but I was like, why are you being so mean to Jamie? Everyone picks on him. And now I can see why, yeah, from getting it, with no spoilers, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I love that show. I highly recommend if you're channel surfing and you're someone who likes television. Well, actually, even if you don't like television, I don't watch television at all. And I was convinced by my husband to watch Yellowstone. I absolutely love it. I found the first season a little rough and a little incongruent with the rest of the show, like the rest of the seasons. I forget how many seasons there are.
There are 4, I think. I'm on the 3rd season.
But I absolutely love Yellowstone. I have enjoyed it so much. I've enjoyed Yellowstone almost as much as I enjoyed Peaky Blinders. And other than that, television is a vast wasteland that no one wants to watch anymore. But really love Yellowstone.
There's plenty of good old stuff out there.
There is, yeah.
I've been rewatching. Says Hungry Boy. I've been rewatching Wild West. God, what a great show, man! I love it. I have the big old complete set of that, and I feel like now you make me want to go back and watch that. Hungry Boy. I think after I get through watching this, maybe I'll just go back and binge that sucker again. It's 4 seasons. I have the full set of them. I don't have the DVDs of the 2 movies they did, but TV movies, but I can get those. But yeah, you know what? I'm in the mood to watch Wild Wild West again soon. Hungry Boy, thanks for reminding me. There's so much stuff on Tubi though. So much good old stuff. And yes, Jane Badler was a hottie.
Well, the other thing I like, it's a classic. If I want to go back to something good, other than Star Trek, I love Bonanza is a great show. Or
I love.
I got some Sanford and Son that I was watching.
Cool.
I never liked that
Family.
one.
I love that show.
Yeah, I love
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, I guess that you always used to play in our comic book store too. That was one of the shows the guy Paul had on all the time with Sanford and Son. So you just stop and watch part of an episode, and that was fun. And of course, Emergency is one of my great all-time fun. I miss the anthology shows. I guess that's the one thing I miss is I hate having all these shows. You have this. I mean, as much as I like Yellowstone, it's it's one big story. So I love, and I know you love those
short
stories too.
Short stories or episodic TV is so much better. I mean, just
yeah.
You know what I was reading the other day, Mark? That one of the reasons why no one is interested in publishing my short stories is that the public rarely buys more than 3,000 copies of anyone's short stories. This was the number that this website threw out, that they rarely sell more than 3,000 copies. So publishing houses are reluctant to publish short story collections. I think it's so weird.
That stinks.
Because, prior to, like, in the late 1800s, 1900s, everyone loved short stories. And what a lot of people don't realize is that short stories are the maps to some of the great novels that they have read in their life. They're completely unaware of the fact that Charles Dickens would send in these short stories or these little stories that would become chapters in great volumes. And so it's depressing, because I think I think
that's true though. Yeah, that the Christmas Carol was published in magazine form, I think, or in a what you would call it back then, like an almanac, and many of the books. We think of it too, how expensive a book would be, right, back then. So they would publish it like that in multi parts.
Yeah, well, the world is so weird right now. Like Mark, I'm going to say this too because I know you're familiar with him. I'm not sure if Clobby's familiar with him or not, but the fact that Andy Weir had to start some sort of GoFundMe or whatever they call it, or Indiegogo.
Well, he gave up. He gave away his book for free.
He had to, because no one would publish Andy Weir. That's how weird our world is now. No one was interested in Andy Weir's writing.
He owes me a night's sleep, the SOB, because the book was so damn good. I started reading it. I couldn't put it down the first time. I think I read the book the whole night. And that's why I didn't like the movie, because I read the book first, and the book was so much better than in my opinion.
10 million times better.
Yeah. Not that the movie wasn't good, but if you've read the book, it just can't compare.
No.
Yeah.
So it's just sad, and I think I don't think there's a lot of truth in it. I really don't. I realize that there are all these studies that say some studies say 60, some say 70, some say 80. Social media posts say 90% of all people lie about reading stuff they haven't read, and that people are buying classic books because they want them to be on their shelves, so people will view them as more intelligent or more or well read or whatever, and that they're not actually reading them, and that this is what's connected to the people not wanting short stories and short story collections. I'm just I realize, of course I understand these studies reflect it, but just the way that the data is being interpreted by publishing houses, I'm not altogether on board with it. I think people are hungry for short stories and for ideas. I think eventually the world is going to get sick of talking about feelings in these long, protracted, boring soap opera like situations. Aren't people getting enough of being in other people's business when they're online? Isn't there? Don't people want to explore ideas instead of interpersonal relationships? It's very odd to me. Anyway.
Indeed.
Well, there's so much on social media now too. A lot of, God bless some of my friends on Facebook, but I don't need to know that you had oatmeal for breakfast. I mean, that's just a ridiculous example. But some people post every little thing that they do. It's like, well, pick up the phone and give me a call maybe once in a while, and I'm guilty of that too. Versus the minutia that some people post, and then they're looking for that reaction, that endorphin, or someone liked my post, and we're all guilty of it too, where you didn't have that years ago without social media, how many people liked my post, and it's really God, who are your friends in your family and who's important to you, and if they're real friends, you know, it doesn't matter if they didn't like your post or see their post, or, you know, they're not going to not like you or something, or maybe they just didn't see the damn thing. You know, but it's that human connection and is really what you need in the end. That's why this stuff on YouTube is so fun, because we can talk with the chat and we can hang out together, and, you know, it's like a con every night, basically. When you get to hang out, and that you've got that interaction versus just watching a video or something.
Yeah, so true. It's so true. But I hope they're wrong. I hope that suddenly the public will become interested in short stories again. You know, imagine the works of Edgar Allan Poe, Philip K. Dick, Ray Bradbury, H.G. Wells. Just think about Charles Dickens. Just think of all of the people who are some of our brightest stars in writing, and some of our most prolific authors, so people who we admire and respect, and their work stands the test of time. Imagine if they never would have had an opportunity to publish a short story and people weren't interested in short stories. Imagine how many authors we'd have to cut out of our culture, out of our history. Like 90%? It's just, I just can't believe it. Reading that, just doing some research on, you know, trying to market my short story collection this week, I was just so shocked, and you just feel so defeated.
That's a bummer. Don't get defeated. But you look at Stephen King, like how many of his short stories have been adapted to movies? I mean, there's a whole string of them. Of course, he, you know, obviously one of the most popular and prolific authors, but a lot of his works that were adapted to movies, not that it has to be adapted, but I'm saying that just showed a lot of short stories were used. So it wasn't Pet. Yeah, I'm thinking like Pet Sematary. That's a short story. There's a bunch of them that were translated. But yeah, it's too bad that, you know, you'd think too, with the short attention span that people have, that, you know, short stories would be a big deal, right? YouTube is, you know, pushing their YouTube shorts. Look at TikTok, how popular that is, and my kid's like, Dad, we do not want to see you on TikTok, please, no.
Well, my husband just said, you know, it seems like the Americans are moving in a much quicker direction, or at a quicker speed and a better direction. My husband was saying than Canada. And he said, you know, like maybe it's just time that you sit down and get yourself an agent in the United States, and not worry about selling your book in Canada. Just sell your book in the States. They seem to have, you know, a better idea of how this stuff goes, and there seems to be an appetite for it there, and you'll be able to do it. And, you know, I'm getting closer and closer to that every day. It's so depressing. We have one publishing house here called, I think it's called Edge. And it's one that's close to me here. And I was on their website, and it's so funny because in the introduction of their website, it's like, we don't want your short stories. We don't want your short story collections. Don't send them to us. And of course, I'm not quoting them verbatim, but that's pretty close to what they say. And It's just like, wow, okay. So if there's almost no science fiction in Canada, and no one wants short stories or short story collections, I just can't imagine the world's libraries with this same attitude that they have right now, you know, 50, 100 years ago. We'd have some pretty empty libraries, wouldn't we?
That's for sure, yeah.
Yep.
And I think Pop Culture Creator says he has a Ray Bradbury Theater watch party in his channel on Tuesdays. So that's pretty cool. Yep.
Who's cool. That?
Pop Culture
Curator. Yep.
Really?
You'll have to check that out. Yep.
I will definitely have to check that out.
Cool stuff. Ray, indeed. Ray Bradbury. What a great gentleman. Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Oh my goodness. Well, what else is going on? Let's see. We talked about TV shows. We talked about comics. What else is going on? We got a big show coming up this Saturday night, but you know, the thing is, we're getting close to the end of of TNG. And we got to start planning ahead.
The next generation.
What we're gonna do when that we gotta like that. We're gonna have a big. I don't know. Should we do our big season-ending party and then move to the movies, or do the movies and then wrap it all up? TNG. I'm trying to figure.
I don't know.
To figure out how we're going to do that.
I usually don't give you advice on that because you usually go away with it and you think about it and then you're like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. And every time you do that, you always come back with the perfect solution to everything, which I love. So I'll just wait for you to sort of, cogitate. And when you're ready to tell me what you want to do, we'll do it. So far, I think that you have made choices that everyone has really enjoyed because it hasn't disturbed the flow. It's given us an opportunity to explore different topics and things like that. So however you wind up handling it, I just want you to know that I respect and totally love that you command this part of it and that you always come up with good things. So don't worry about it. I'll go along with whatever you decide, boss.
Well, Mazarus, yes, we're doing the TNG movies after we finish with the series, which is close. So I think what we will do is we'll finish up our normal episodes. Then we will have the big, series send-off episode. We'll review all good things. And then we'll call some of our crew members in, and we'll have the big party, the big season-ending party. We'll have some festivities, like for example, not just rate the episode, but we'll give a rate each season. We'll do things like pick a couple of our worst of the whole series, our best of the whole series. Mm-hmm. Which season was the worst? We'll have some fun like that.
I'll pull up my spreadsheet.
And could you do me a favor, Mark? Would you please obtain the permission from the Dadman clan or just Dadman for the gifts he received? Because we usually handle that with the wrap-up party.
I like that avatar.
And
that's my Good Luck Rangers avatar.
And did we get one out to Pop Culture
for the next
Republic?
Game? Did you get? You should have gotten it. Hopefully, did Pop? Did you? Is
Pop Culture Republic? I think he had to run.
Oh, you had to run. Yep.
I don't know if he did or not. Hey, Zachariah, what's up, man?
Hey, Zachariah, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us.
You made it sound like they were eliminated earlier, so they just lost.
No, but they're down 3. They've lost 3 games in a row.
Well.
They could have gone up 3-0 in game 3. And, all these posts that they hit.
Look at what you did. You put Clobby in the mask. There's no way Clobby would ever fit in that mask.
Well, they could use the thing and go. I mean, the Rangers goalie is fantastic, but
do you know how big the thing's helmet would have to be?
Pretty big.
Well, actually, wouldn't need one, but it'd be pretty big, right? Yeah.
That's true, isn't it?
Wagner, says as long as you don't include the last episode of Enterprise as part of the TNG. Well, no, that'll be the last one of the end Enterprise review, though, and I won't miss a chance to beat up on that one. But and then after that, we will after that TNG party, send off, we will do 2 weeks of reviewing the movies.
Yeah.
1 or 2 a week. I think this is sufficient. Mm-hmm. And then from then we'll go we will go to Deep Space Nine.
It's going to be crazy.
A lot of episodes. Who's got more episodes, Deep Space Nine or TNG? Well, 7
TNG
seasons.
has 178, and DS9 has 176.
Oh, okay.
Voyager got 172, Ent got 98, and of course, TOS got 79.
Now, how do you count the 2-parters, like in TNG? Encounter at Farpoint, is that considered 1 episode or 2?
No,
I don't think so.
No, it's if it had a different broadcast date.
Okay.
And each one also has a prod number.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it wasn't sometimes they would break it up in syndication, wouldn't they? Well, that's just in the minutia, but I just always wondered.
No, officially, TNG has 178 officially.
Okay, yeah.
And DS9 has 176 officially.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun, fun, fun. So that our daddy takes the T-bird away. Pop culture curator says curator says I've never watched DS9. I'm going to try experience it with you. Oh, well, that would be fantastic. I'm honored to hear that.
That's
cool.
Great.
Pop
culture curator, just so you know, the boss, I identified a book that I thought was good. And he respects when I choose books to sort of guide or use them as a jump off point for the show. And I was looking around at the different books and the way they're vetted, who's edited them, who's written them. And I found this DS9 book that editors, like people in publishing like me, editors, publishers, authors, like actual people involved with writing, were really impressed with. And so they were all talking about this book. And I started shopping around for it. And you would not believe some of the psychotic pricing for this book. Yeah. So I've seen it, like, I don't even know. I think it's $400 American, but I have this nagging suspicion I've seen it for more than $400 American. And one night, Mark found it, and Mark had been looking for me for weeks.
Online, you mean? Yeah.
And
on Fleabag.
On Fleabag. And Mark was like, "Don't worry, don't be upset. I'll find it." The great Eric K.
Eric was looking too, yeah.
Yeah, Eric was like, "Look, I'm gonna try and get this for you. Just sit tight and let me see what I can do." And so I had all these wonderful American friends trying to find this book for me. And finally, Clobby found the book, bought it for me, and sent it to Mark to send it to Canada to me. And I almost cried. I could not believe how incredibly thoughtful he was. I am astonished by the price he was able to get it for. And I'm just so excited because this is such a coveted book. Mark, would you mind? I'm sorry, I know this is unexpected, but since we brought it up, may I please ask you to show that book? Could you show?
Sure, yep. But let me just go in the other room and get it. Yep.
Hold on. Thanks, sweetheart. I'm so sorry, Mark. But
all good.
This book is so cool, and everyone wants this book. And I can't believe that Clobby would do that for me. It's a very expensive book, so it's so kind of him to do that. He paid for it himself, never asked me for any money. He's like, "Don't worry, number one, I'll send it to you." So
you'll be using it from my show. Call it a show expense if it makes you feel better.
But I want
you to have it and keep it forever.
Oh, honey, I love you. Like, this is such an amazing book, and there's no way I would have ever been able to afford it as a Canadian. When I found out how much it was selling for, I was just I couldn't believe it. It's actually scary how much this book goes for. And when Mark shows it, we'll look it up because I forget the exact title because of course I looked up like 50 different titles.
Companion, I think.
Is it Companion?
Yeah, Guagnar, that's true. Move Along Home was in the first. In other words, I can't think of any glaringly horrific episodes of that show. Like maybe one or two that are not good. It's like any other show, less 170 something episodes. Of course, there could be bad ones. But man, when we look back in our final show on TNG, we're going to find it's maybe it only seems that way, but I think we might find more terrible than good. I'd hate to think that. We'll find out. But DS9 won't have that problem. Not that we won't criticize the hell out of it if it deserves it. Don't get me wrong, folks.
Mm-hmm. But it is a completely different animal, right? Like,
yeah,
DS9, I don't look at it and criticize it the same way as I criticize TNG, because DS9 was not. DS9 was more like an homage to Star Trek than Star Trek, and Gene Roddenberry wasn't involved in making it. And it's got sort of a different thing going on, right? It's sort of like Babylon 5. So, you just appreciate it on a different level. It doesn't try too hard, but it also doesn't try to pretend to be something that it's not.
I think that's a way better cast, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? And it's like when I was reading from the block text, and when when she was, quoting all the people who said that they absolutely hated being on TNG. They hated the show. They hated the production people, hated the actors hated the production people, the writers hated the producers hated the writers, or all the stuff they were saying, all, about how they all hated each other and they were all miserable and they didn't want to be on the show. Well, it certainly showed, didn't it?
Wow, what happened, Pleasant? Pleasant said YouTube messed up your post. What happened?
I don't know, honey. What happened?
Wagner, are you saying that this episode was bad?
Yeah, Gwagnar.
Wow, are
I
you?
totally agree with Gwagnar.
Come on now, worth 10 bad. Yeah, but I know you love this one, right? By the way, Brandon Braga wrote this one.
Oh, so stupid. It's so stupid.
I get my hands on the guy who keeps putting all this crap all over my normal pictures.
Yeah, that is sub-row size. It's so bad.
I don't know. It got voted. It lost the vote for worst of the 2 episodes, though.
Yeah, because Masks is like going to an insane asylum, and the fact that Poopy Stew, they write him to sort of pretend like he's deciphering Shakespeare for us. It is so dumb. It is the dumbest of the dumb. There's so much dumb going on there.
I don't think so, Narat. They never did a stage play. In fact, the few holodeck, that one really big holodeck episode, and they didn't do it every week. We had a great holodeck episode called Our Man Bashir, which was great, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Again, that was a holodeck episode done right, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're far off enough where we could talk about that show.
Okay, so here's the crazy book. And so I'm going to just go and hold on for 1 second.
I got it.
I'm just going to put the dogs down, and hopefully they won't start.
So it arrived in good shape, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Nice shape. Yep. You packed it well. Yep.
I was concerned that I packed those like terrible. I thought, oh no. Usually when I pack stuff, I'm pretty thorough, but there's some stuff I forgot to do to the package that I was like,
it was okay.
It's going to be screwed up. Oh no.
It was okay, thankfully. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a great book, and you're lucky I already have a copy. Otherwise, it might not have made it. Might not have been joking.
You did have a copy?
I have a copy of that. Yeah.
So good. I have a few cheap ones that are populating right now, but these are the cheapest prices that I've ever seen for it. So $249.80.
Jesus.
If you want to order it now, and it's paperback. It's not even a hardback. But if you actually try and get this book, if you actually try to buy it, it's.
Well, in Canada, it's a lot more money, but it's expensive in the States too. I mean,
yeah, it's nuts.
I don't know why, because it's just a paperback. I'm guessing maybe limited print run or less print run. I mean, because a lot of the Star Trek books you can get are relatively cheap, or $30-$40 at the most, unless it's first edition.
Book. Was this done after the whole series was done?
I think so.
Let's see, what's the date on it? But like the block, the TNG book, I picked up a copy for $5. I mean, the block one for TNG.
Yeah, but you got lucky there on the.
Well, no, there are a bunch of used bookstores. So, I mean, the conditions maybe not. Dadman said it was in pretty good shape, but it's used, but it's still decent. Let's say 2000. Does it say 2000 there?
There you go. So the copyright got the whole show.
Yeah. Copyright 2000. Yeah.
What's really interesting about this book is that we're going to be leading with Erdman. Now, Terry J. Erdman is Paula M. Block's husband, but she's riding second chair on this book. So it's with Paula M. Block on this one. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, they're both experts in writing about Star Trek, but we'll see how Terry does. Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and read the first couple of sentences there?
I just wanted to highlight this though, really quick. The sale of this book without its cover is unauthorized. If you purchase this book without a cover, you should be aware that it is reported the publisher is unsold and destroyed. Neither the author nor the publisher has received payments for the sale of this strip book.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Al, you would not believe what they're doing to try and swat down all of the PDFs.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, people try to post PDFs of this, or
yeah, you've seen them, right?
Yeah, and there are people who are profiting off of it because they're printing it and then sending it without the copy or without the cover or the cover back. In 1993, the producers of Star Trek took a chance. They opted to. I can't read that now, honey.
They put the light up. See if that helps. Let's see.
Oh, they opted to rip off Babylon 5. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if that helps or that hurts.
That hurts. Love you, Mark.
Owie.
Here, let me do this. Hold on. I want to be careful with the book.
This is so exciting.
Well, if I zoom in, then that'll.
So this is the introduction. In 1993, the producers of Star Trek took a chance. They opted to break free of the established and admittedly successful format that had sustained the series for 27 years. The new show, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, would not take place on a giant starship traveling through space, the final frontier. Instead, it would be set in a frontier town located in space. The story would begin 3 years after the infamous Battle of Wolf 359, with Commander Benjamin Sisko and his young son Jake warily arriving at their new home, a dilapidated space station located at the edge of the Alpha Quadrant. So this is going to be so much fun. So much fun. I'm so excited.
No, it's a great. And when I first, heard about the series, I was like, "Wait a minute, how is this going to be any good? This is on a space station." And a lot of people said the same thing too.
Are you bending that book?
Nope, not bending. I'm just
up doing that.
No. It's on a book holder.
You know what I find funny is you can always tell how old someone is by how many spaces they leave after a sentence.
Yeah.
And Terry J. Erdman is doing the double space after the sentence. Terry, you're an old man.
I get yelled at by my kids. I'm a double space person.
You old man, stop that. Yeah, this is so exciting. I cannot wait. If it's not where I can read it, just read it. Don't worry. I will make sure that I create summaries from this. But this is, they say, the absolute authority on Deep Space Nine. And I'm just so grateful to Clobby. Sorry, Paco has identified what someone in the chat earlier called the Sasquatch in the bay window. But I'm just so grateful to Clobby for getting me this book. There's no way, it's just really hard for
Unobtainium.
This is going to be sensational, and we're going to read every page of this book together. We're going to thoroughly enjoy this book, all of us together, one and all. We're going to have such a great time, all thanks to our captain. And certainly I do also have to say thank you to Mark to help us get this to me. But I love you, Clobby. I love you. Thank you.
That's a cool looking book, though. That one.
No, it's a nice book. Yep, nice book. Yep. Yeah, really, really fun. Yep, and such a long series too. So I'm just gonna flip, just flip through. But no color photos, but that's okay. But really nice details.
I don't know. I kind of like that crew better than. In fact, I definitely like that whole cast and crew better than the TNGers for sure.
Yep, me too.
I mean, they're even in the lesser episode, they're really good. They're all good. I mean, and they're just amazing. From Sisko and Kira and Dax and O'Brien is so great on that show. Bashir's great.
Man.
The relationship between O'Brien and Bashir, is really great. Even though in real life, well, never mind.
Pop culture curator Paco is a nickname for someone named Francisco in Spanish, I believe. And I absolutely love Paco. Paco is a 3-pound Chihuahua who looks like an Italian Greyhound. So when they were making Chihuahuas, when they were establishing the breed, they introduced the bloodline of Italian Greyhounds. So you have to imagine beautiful white socks, a rudder for a tail, then all gray. But then he has the most gorgeous head. He looks like a deer. He looks like Bambi. He's just gorgeous, and he's only 3 pounds. And then I have Lola. Lola, I call her the BMW of Chihuahuas. She's jet black with a little white socks and a little white strip on her chest. And she looks more like the applehead variety of Chihuahuas. And I always say she's built for speed and fun. She's just a laugh riot. She is just a cool chick, a really, really sweet little girl. So yeah, both of them are Chihuahuas. I absolutely love Chihuahuas because it's like you have a big dog in a little dog's body, and you know what that means, right? Almost no poop, no peek, no cleaning up. Everything's all clean. And so yes, I love them very much. And thank you so much for asking. Paco and Lola, and they're both Chihuahuas. You have a good ear, sir.
That's the Star Trek Encyclopedia.
So it's the other book
could not
coming.
believe when I found that sucker. When I found that, I was shocked because I have the black and white version. This is the color version. I've had the black and white version since it came out. They must have did this later when I don't know when this cuts off exactly. It's a great cover, of course, all real Trek. And,
can't believe this. This is coming to me too, everyone.
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I have this book or not. Yeah, just kidding. So that one's coming, and then
I'm literally going to lay in bed just smelling these books and just opening them up and just smelling them. They're so I love books.
I can't remember what they smell like, but then there's this one that I got this for you that we're all gonna review this.
Fire.
We're gonna review a Star Trek comic eventually.
I'm gonna read my first comic.
You never read a comic ever?
Did you read your Gold Keys?
No.
Why
would I open my Gold Keys?
You got to read this one though. You don't got to do nothing. I'm saying.
Well, no, I definitely have to. I do whatever you say. I love you very much.
I love that.
Again, I haven't reread this in forever. I might think it sucks again. I might think it sucks if I go back and read it.
No, this was a good book.
We'll review it. Yeah.
This is well done. Yep.
And you're right, Anaximander. I don't show my office because I'm worried about doxing myself. I have to prepare my office. I have lots of like private information in my office, so I don't want to show him on camera. I hope you don't mind. But I do regularly post pictures of them on my Twitter, and my Twitter is currently open to the public. So if you want to see Paco and Lola, you can see pictures of them on my Twitter. And thank you for asking.
Oh, and I'm away. I can't see the chat right now, so I don't know if anyone's asking me any questions or anything.
No.
I'll let you know.
We'll let you know. Yep. Yeah, this is great art by Adam Hughes.
Yeah, look how good
this is the best Star Trek comic ever because of the best art in any Star Trek comic.
Yep. Dead of Honor. Yep. So that'll be headed your way, and thank you for giving me a copy of that, Clobberin.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you had it somewhere, but
so this will be my first proper comic that I've ever read. I read like the digests in the 1970s. I used to get them from the used clothing store. So there was like a book section in the used clothing store.
Did you read that Dream Girl story I sent you? Maybe I don't know than that. Yeah.
No, I haven't. Why?
I'm talking about a year or so ago. I sent you a Dream Girl story. Short one.
Did I read that? Maybe I did.
That was a long time ago. Anyway, this is the later version here of the compendium that he found for you. I have the blue one, but this was after at the con.
20th anniversary. Yep. This is my favorite Trek book growing up because you'd watch the story and the episode, and then boom, you go. Of course, it had all kinds of background and information on the series. The Whitman book too, I love too. The Roddenberry. Is it Whitman or that first book, paperback?
Yeah. I think it is Whitman.
And then this would probably be number one because we kept this next to the TV. So if the episode came up, you'd flip. If the cage was on, you'd flip to it. You could actually see who was. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. you could see who was in the episode and all the information. So that was, I'll go a little bit closer there. You could see,
Cardi, you guys, Cardi just walked in the room, slammed $20 on the table and said, one of my favorite shows on YouTube. Cardi, hi, sweetheart.
Hey.
Gil's
Thank you,
here.
Cardinal Sin.
Everyone say hello to
Cardinal
Gil.
Sin.
Thank you, sweetheart.
What's up, dude? Thanks
Gil.
for popping in. Good to see you, bud.
Thank you for supporting Clobby's show and Clobby's channel. I appreciate it very much, Cardinal Sin. That's so sweet of you. So thoughtful of you. Everyone, please follow Cardinal Sin.
Thank you so much, Cardinal Sin. Appreciate you, man. I hope you're doing well tonight, buddy.
So generous, so kind. Thank you.
Absolutely, isn't.
So this is just the fun. Back in the day, it was tough to get info on Star Trek.
It's true.
And then you had,
unless it was the fold out of the Sunday paper, you didn't get to see any of this stuff. And also TV Guide.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the block text in a way. And of course, there was that first compendium too that had the Enterprise on the cover with the you could spin the wheel to the episode.
That's the concordance.
Concordance.
I was trying to find my picture of it. I have that one. You have that?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah. I love that. That's a cool book. But I think this is actually a better book.
Oh, it is. That's the one BJ Trimble did, though. That Star Trek Concordance.
I think that was the first one. Yeah.
Well, technically, she did one that was more like a spiral bound one that was kind of, but the one that was, actually an actual book, paperback book. Yeah. The second concordance is the one with the wheel thing.
We love that. We love her. She's the one who started the first, the first Save the Star Trek.
Ultimate Trek fan.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she really was.
She's a cool person.
Yep.
Well, I'm so excited. We're almost at DS9, and you know what? TNG might not finish strong, but we're gonna come out roaring like lions for DS9. We're gonna have such a great time.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Looking forward to it. I know it sounds bad, but I can't wait to get through what we're doing now.
Yes.
I'm sorry how bad it sounds, everyone. I mean, I didn't make the damn show.
I didn't think the 7th season was that bad, actually. And in retrospect.
Am I ruining it for you? I hate ruining things
we
for
are
you.
Ruining
You're always like, you and Clobby ruin everything.
I think we are ruining that show for people. I don't know. There it is. That's the one I have that one, but yours might be in better shape than mine, damn it.
The bad thing about Saturday Night Star Trek is Clobby and I say out loud what we're thinking while we're watching the show. And that might be damaging to other people who would just rather not think about those things that Clobby and I think about. I know it's wrong, but it's where our minds go. We can't help ourselves, right, Clobby?
Gotta be honest.
Yep. Indeedishness.
Yeah, so this doesn't have as many pictures, and that's a good book. I mean, it's just the basic synopsis. The compendium goes in a little bit more detail, but there's some fun stuff in here too. But
it's a great book though. I mean,
it's a great book.
When that was done, that wasn't done in the mid '70s. I mean,
yeah.
It's got a great episode guide, and that show them the wheel on there.
Yeah, and it's got the index in here too of all the. So it's more of the background than the episodes, I would say.
Mine's in good shape still, but not that good a shape. I don't know.
Wow.
That's see the wheel where you turn it and it shows you can turn any episode that they're all out. They're alphabetical. It shows the start date.
Requiem for Methuselah or Requiem for a Martian.
Requiem for the Martian. Yeah.
I'll call letters RM. Page Martian. 85. Yep. Return of the Archons. Return to Tomorrow.
Yeah, they're in alphabetical.
Savage Curtain. Yep.
It shows the start date, all that stuff. I just love it.
Oh, it is fun. It's fun, and I think they printed it later without the wheel. That's a cheaper.
They did.
Cheaper version. Yeah.
I think I finally found this around like 1980, 81 or something, or 82, somewhere up in there. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but it was around the same time I got the concordance.
I got this.
Was older than that.
I got this year, I think, or last year. I finally found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could have been cheap.
Wasn't too bad. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But don't tell the wife.
Oh my. Yeah, look at that. That's
No, it
so
wasn't.
Cool. Look, I love that
Yeah,
wheel
but
thing.
that
I
is.
don't know. Man, I should you
Just
can just
spin
like
it.
mess with it
Just
nonstop.
spin
Just
it.
spin that sucker. Yeah, I don't know.
You got the Enterprise.
It's
Perfect
very
shape.
it is an ingenious way of handling a table of contents.
Yeah.
Wagner, I have a few of those Best of Trek books. Those are great. They were books compiled. They were book compilations, small paperback book compilations from a magazine called Trek Magazine, where they had short stories by fans and stuff. That was when that's the good fan fiction, not the crap they had at cons that were, perverted crap. But I mean, they had some good ones. Nice.
Captain Christopher Pike.
Best of Trek. Does it say that? Say anything about Strangled?
All right, let me just look up Robert April.
Robert April.
Let's see if he's in here.
Of him in there.
Oh, we don't have Robert April. Gene Roddenberry.
Now they got you. Who? Oh, creator of the series. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting it.
What does he know anyway? That guy.
No Robert Rock Creatures, but no Robert. I was hoping Robert April was in here.
I think this might have actually been, even though this is the later version of the book.
Well, they have the animated.
The animated series. Is the whole animated series in there though?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's see.
Because
Infinite Vulcan. Yep. Yesteryear.
It might have been
DC
before that.
There it is.
Yeah, but is the second season in there?
Oh, good question. Yeah, 73. The Survivor.
This was around 73.
Infinite Vulcan. Time Trap.
What's the last one they show? How sharper than a serpent's tooth. I think it ends at the
Counterclock
first
Incident.
season.
There we go.
We got it. Okay, there you go.
Nice.
So you didn't put them in there.
So
well, at least it's in
April, there, Commodore Robert April. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Well, we got him in there. Good.
Yep.
Yes, and laterishness.
Well, thank God he's in there because he won't be anywhere else.
No, well, not the real one. Not again.
No.
This showed up in the mail today.
What?
Finally, this showed up.
What?
This. I mean that. Oh my.
Oh my.
Took a long time to get from China.
Wow.
As we say.
That's bizarre. Those boots.
What's going on with those
silver.
boots?
That's supposed to be the motion picture?
That's supposed to be the motion picture. Yep. Don't pick on my new Spock.
No, I mean, I like it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice. It was just asking.
It's
weird.
It's a little. Oh, when I get the.
It's a little weird.
Why does he have that phaser?
It is what you call it.
It's Migo.
It's Amigo. Yep.
Yeah, but it's the people. What the hell? Again?
The collar's weird. It's what now?
Oh shit! What's the name of those people? I always forget the stupid name of these freaking people with the blue and yellow.
The blue and yellow.
They make all the replicas.
Replica? I don't know.
Of what? Of action figures?
Hold on. Just hold on. I'll just get the stupid name. Hold on. It's on my shelf.
Why would they use
I have to take my headphones out to do it, though, so hold on.
Why would they use a picture from the series?
Yeah, well, they call it
supposed to be motion picture.
Well, these were these special editions that were done for Topps Migo, and these are the ones I did. I done an enabling video, I think, like a year ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I agree. When I saw it,
yeah,
I think they just went cheap on the packaging. Like here, it says the original series.
Indeed, Hungry Boy. Minions.
I mean, the packaging is nice, but
Diamond Select.
Diamond Select. Oh, okay, Diamond Select. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, these are
this is Migo, which would be, it might have Migo might make them for Diamond Select. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what I think because that's the Diamond Select.
That's how we got this one.
Logo. That's their colors, their logo, their packaging.
They could have made it for Diamond Select, but he didn't order it through that, did you?
No, it was actually through Topps. So it was a special.
Topps
was promoting it, and they had that limited series, and they ended the series, I think, prematurely. But each week they had 2 figures would drop that you could buy, And of course, when the coup hit, I think, and all the supply chain issues.
Right.
The what?
The coof.
The vid.
You mean the vid? You're an
vid,
honorary
yes.
Canadian. Chris Persia already told you this.
Thank you. Yep.
Coof. Goofiness. The goof.
So, but I think it's a pretty
Grunions.
nice. The uniform's a little off, but the cut. I could not buy it. So.
Hey, flip over again. Flip, flip, flippity, flip, 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 flip. Hey, I have that exact photo signed by Leonard Nimoy.
Nice. Niceness. Love it.
So I don't know if I'm going to leave him in the. I might leave him in the box because it's a limited edition.
Why would you do? No, he needs to stay in that package for sure.
Take him out.
No, don't do it. Yeah,
this
that's
one's even
Diamond
better.
Select.
As much as I love Mr. Spock, I think the face sculpt is pretty damn good. If I zoom in.
Yeah, it is nice. That's pretty good.
The sculpt is pretty nice. I think they did a really good nice job there.
I'm not sure.
It's a Mego. Megos aren't really that known for detail.
Yeah.
No.
Like here's the original. Here's the original Mr. Spock. We're gonna do a side by side.
I have that one.
You got that?
Yeah,
I think the new one is
terrible
better.
shape though. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, the old one is pretty damn good too, but his nose is a little bit too big, I think.
It's just that weird flappy collar thing that he's got.
Yeah,
It's
I think they're
strange.
trying to do the first season uniform.
I'm talking
Excuse me,
about
movie
First
uniform.
season?
First movie.
How about
First
the movie
movie.
one?
Movie.
First
uniform.
movie.
Shin kicks.
Yeah.
First
kicks.
movie.
Yeah, it's the first movie. Yeah, maybe it's phase 2.
I can blame anesthesia from 2 days ago, right? Yeah.
Yes,
So-
you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, does this one? If you pull the string from, it says the word vegetable. Return to
No.
vegetable.
No. Garbage scowl.
I am cool. That's cool. He didn't say that. but-
I know,
or
but
he could say it. He could say, Captain.
Captain Garbage.
I've heard your ship has been called a garbage scow.
that's right. But
I'm
that is,
cool.
of course, Core, who is a great
I
lab.
think they did a nice job with this
Yes,
figure.
I love
think
Core.
this figure
That
is
is good.
awesome. Check out the boots.
No,
They're
it's
made
not
for
the
walking.
boots. For me, it's the sparkly pants.
Yeah,
Yay.
looks cool too, right?
Yay, sparkly pants.
And the head sculpt's pretty damn good too.
Yes, John Collick.
That is a very shiny baldric.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Baldric. So you only have these two, or did you? Oh, I like the.
Well, that was the
disruptor
set.
one.
That was the set for the week. So, and it's got
Mm.
Core, the king.
Yeah. Captain of the USS Enterprise.
Look at how cute he looks.
I don't know about that, but he is cool. John Collick was a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Baltar, the real Baltar. The one true Baltar.
Yes, he was.
Marty Abrams.
So
I hate your
nice,
name. Marty, I hate your name. Nothing personal. Not your first name. I hate your last name, Abrams. So. Abrams.
Whoa.
And so does the
No.
dog.
He's not named after Jar Jar, is he?
I don't hope he's not related to Jar Jar Abrams.
I doubt it. Yep. But yeah, these
TOS
were,
Klingons are the best. Pleasant Valley likes to beat Klingons. Hey, we're gonna mention Baldric, and someone mentions my Baldric. I have a cunning plan, as Baldric would say. Well, it's so cunning you could stick a tail in it, and it would be called. No, actually, it's so I have a plan so smart you can stick a tail in it and call it a weasel. Yes, really, Baldric? A cunning and subtle one, so cunning you could brush your teeth with it. As cunning
But
as
that
a
kind
fox.
of baldric doesn't have a K on it.
Oh no, he's spelling it like the TV show. Blackadder. I love Blackadder.
Good
Yep.
boy. Even the Chihuahuas hate Abrams.
Yay! Abrams hate is good. Abrams hate is right.
So I'm glad I finally got those. So those I got to just find a spot on the wall. I don't have
Yay.
much wall space left. So
Spock looks like he's just been in a fight on
yeah, I got a
You
new
know.
shirt for him after.
I
This is
don't
not change
recognize, to be quite honest with you, I don't recognize any of them through their faces. Like if you showed
Oh, you
me these
don't?
without telling me exactly who they were.
Wow,
you
Yeah.
know that Spock. Come on.
come on, that's
Well,
fine.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like their faces.
Well, you need to take that Spock that's already in the old uniform there, take that off, paint like a green like Speedo on him, and then put some wings on his feet.
You got Namor.
Namor, the Submariner.
Yeah, yeah.
That is illogical that you would take my clothes off, Captain, just to make me into a superhero.
I do have new boots and new. Yeah, I just never put these on, but I got to put the new shirt.
Got a new shirt for Spock. Yay!
Yeah, don't tell the repro people, but I do have a new shirt for Spock.
Screw the repo punks.
I keep it safe in my
Go
thing.
back to your quarters and change your shirt. Yay! I love that.
And boots for Uhura. Yep. I've been meaning to do a YouTube video of doing changing the clothes.
Changing their clothes? Wow.
What boots did you get for Uhura? Did you get Mirror Universe boots? Are they thigh highs or what?
That's the boots, yep.
That's not the Mirror Universe, is it? Yeah.
No, normal ones, yeah.
No. Those are the regs.
I love those Mirror Universe ones.
Spock and his Speedo. Sounds like a great band name.
She's got no boots.
Wow, those are like stockings or something? Or?
Yeah, she's got stockings, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That was my sister's, and I stole
her hair needs work.
Yeah, I stole her. I'm not good at hairstyling, but I stole her from my sister.
Beauty parlor, huh?
So then I bought a new version of Uhura too, and I bought 2 copies, so I gave one to my sisters. Then she was mad. Here, I'll grab her off the wall.
One to your sister? Oh, when you were a kid, you mean?
No, later, years later, I'm like, I want all the Star Trek Migos. So my sister used to play. We'd play Star Trek together with a communicator.
You guys used to play Star Trek together?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So I love your family.
So she's like, "Where's my Uhura doll?" She's like, "You have," and then I was like, "I showed her." I'm like, "Well, can I have her?" And she's like, "No, you can't have her." So I'm like, "But Laura, I want." So I'm like, "Okay," I bought her a new one. So I'm like,
"You bought her that one?"
I bought her that one. Yeah.
Wow, I'm like, well, she's missing that face. That's subpar.
It's the same.
That's as bad as the Klingon and Spock.
It's the same face, though.
No, it's not.
It looks like almost the same face.
No, it's
they probably use that same face for Mikey Burnham. You know, Mikey Spock has a figure like that. Yeah. It's still, you know why I know? Because it's still at Walmart where it won't leave because nobody will buy it.
It's Amigo or it's a...
It's Amigo like that, yeah.
Yep. No one wants her.
What's going on with her hands? Okay. I'm glad Retro Blasting isn't here right now Scuba Pete, because I don't like these toys.
I don't know.
They look like they were in a car accident.
I like the dress uniform figures.
Oh, we got some baddies.
I got them. I like the dress uniform figures.
There you go. You ask and you shall receive.
Oh, shite. Nice.
Face, though.
Let me see.
Right, Hungry Boy? It looks like Halle Berry. It looks like drunk Halle Berry.
Stop insulting my Spock figures. I'm shin kicking you.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Kicking a girl.
Stop kicking a girl. Wait a minute. This is a women's lib. You get to get kicked like the rest of us.
Oh, get kicked.
I love this. I think this is pretty cool, man. It's got the signal.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
and they painted the phaser now, so the phaser's not one color.
The color, yes, phaser's not blue anymore. Like one color blue there.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, but this is pretty good, though. I like that.
It's not bad.
He might be a different Vulcan. He looks more like Stan, but I'm just kidding. But I mean, I like him though. I like that dress uniform. You got Kirk too.
Yeah, I got Kirk. Yeah,
of course you do.
Right, Pleasant Valley Picker and Hungry Boy and Pleasant Valley Picker are on my side.
That looks all right.
What is going on with his eyebrows?
What is
happening there?
Amigo.
It's Amigo, though. It's a style.
No, that's not a style. That's something else. It's not called style.
Wow. He does look a little.
It looks just like the picture. Come on.
Yeah, he looks exactly like the picture.
When you were a kid in the 70s, this was as good as it got.
That's the thing about.
Up in the 70s, I know what you're talking about. Back then, it was like if it was even close, you're like, "This is awesome."
It had to be close. That's all.
Look at the Romulan. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
I mean, it was
Did you get the Romulan too?
I got the Romulan somewhere. Yep.
Oh shit! And of course,
not here, not out, but yeah, I got Kirk and Spock.
Wow.
That's a Valley Picker.
My goodness, Pleasant. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, it's legal in Canada. We buy it at the store.
And Kirk is Canadian, but right now he's not in Canada. He's in space.
What's more accurate, these faces?
Ugh. What and the holy?
They're my mini mates.
Boy.
No,
Mini mates.
I love these. My little Lego guys.
Oh man,
Got a lot of these.
Okay, well those do look more accurate.
no I think I agree with Bobby.
Wow,
these are fun. Well, you can
like
pose them, and
we got those Lego hands. Those
Lunchbox head.
The real Nurse Chapel.
Well, more real than the stupid strangled nude worms one. Yeah.
See? It's tough with the glare.
Nude worm socks.
And then one more to show.
It's a strangled nude worm.
This is my favorite set. The mirror set.
Yeah.
That's cool. Come on.
Hey, look, more lunchbox heads.
Yes.
Look at
Bucket heads.
Buckethead.
There's just something charming about these guys.
She's got a full-on bucket head.
I've been the captain's bucket head and I liked it. I'll be one to get about to do every bucket head in the fleet.
She's cute even as a Lego.
Still no interest, Uhura? I could change your mind. Is Captain Buckethead here? Is Spock Buckethead here?
They got the scar on Sulu.
You are away from your bucket-headed post, Mr. Buckethead. Sulu.
No, they're chameleon hands. Have you ever seen like the video of chameleons using their cool little karate chop hands, their little Lego hands?
No, I don't think it. Mirror, mirror. Well, we got mirror people that shouldn't be mirror-mirror-y.
What the H-E
Well, that's just showing you the series. That's just showing you the series.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, okay.
So that's series.
Those are old, huh?
Series 5, yeah. These are pretty old, yep. Ilea looks good. She's bald, right? So that makes sense.
She and Cisco should get together. They're both.
That's one of my favorite Mini-Mates sets. Of course, Mirror's classic. So yeah, they're fun. These guys are fun. Yeah,
But
and it doesn't because I just have them hanging on the wall, so they're easy to hang away. Sorry to your Mini-Mates. You're gonna live in the box for a while.
Nice stuff, though. I love the Migos myself. You ain't hear me complaining about the Migos.
I'm complaining about the Migos.
All right, I'm not sending you any then.
The 3 Amigos.
I love you. I'm sorry.
But we used to play with these all the time. You know, as kids, you had the communicators. You know,
dude,
and you had the Migos. And you had
the. If I grew up with these, if I grew up playing with these, if I had your parents, you and I are pretty much the exact same age, I think. And if I grew up with your parents and they bought me these things, do you have any idea? These would have never have been put away. They would probably be in the living room. I would show them to everyone. I would be so proud of them. I would love them. They would be the greatest thing ever. But when you show me them on the internet, I'm like, who the hell is that? That doesn't look like that person.
Well, see, the thing is, though, about that.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Yeah, Nirad and Amanda Bear. They're like little vice grips. They're
so you
cool
play with them for hours.
I had that.
They're so dirty. You had that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Jed, but
Jed may
I don't have it anymore. You're the only guy I know that still has it. I'm like, well, I have another friend of mine actually has one, I believe. But we were nuts over those things.
These are my favorite toys as a kid. Yep.
It's got a great range of about 10 feet, maybe?
20 feet, 10 feet. Yeah.
I played with popsicle sticks in a puddle, and this is what this guy played with, Mark. So spoiled.
Hey, Tim's talk.
Hey,
have you ever had a toothpick race in a puddle?
Nope.
Looks like Tim's talk maybe. Tim's talk, good to see you. He may be responding to something for what he's talking about. Not as strong as the first, but so he may be a little behind back in time. But if you are hearing us, Tim, talk, welcome. But he
Tim,
seems like
are
he's
you
talking.
time traveling again? We
I think
told
he's
you
time
not to
traveling.
do that.
Or he's talking. Yeah, maybe I don't know what happened, but because he looks like he's responding to us talking about the orbital earlier.
Yes. Well, is it because the poll's still up? Tim might have brought it up because of that, or
I don't know.
He just put laughing out loud.
Oh, just got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You want to talk about nicely made and accurate? Dun, dun.
It's gonna eat the Klingon.
I'm sorry, Tim. I misunderstood because I forgot that I had the poll up, and I thought you were referring to like sometimes people will come in on the show and it'll be actually at a different spot because they didn't fast forward it all the way. Or I know when I go off of a stream sometimes when I'm watching one, I get held back if I don't if I don't go in there for a while. But anyway, you're caught up. Let's check on the poll.
Yeah, how's the poll doing?
Look
How you
at
doing
the
that?
doomsday machine.
I finally got my 3D printer working again today, so they're finicky. God.
Yeah, it sounds like Hungry Boy had the same kind of childhood I had. He's like, Raquel, painted popsicle stick race in the water, stream in after a big rainfall, total fun. I completely agree.
28 votes, 61% loved it, 25%, which I include myself in this one, that liked it. 14 said it was so, and their nose. I'm very happy to see that 0% didn't like it. That's nice. Because I can't wait. I still very much looking forward to the next episode.
Phantom Outsider, we're not filling the doomsday machine with coffee.
I got you,
I wonder.
Tim. My bad, buddy. Good to see you, Tim. It says you are in a position to demand nothing. Doomsday machine. I, on the other hand, am in a position to grant nothing. Except the city Alpha Eel. I'll put one in the Doomsday machine, and then I will control it. What is your ear?
Ezra Goldstein, you just yelled wow. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Clobby, but Ezra Goldstein just yelled wow. Ezra, I want to tell you right now, Mark made that Doomsday machine. He's a maker, and I'm trying to push him to make more. I don't know if you know what a maker is or not.
He replicated it.
A lot of people are unfamiliar with Maker, and I guess I know about it because I know so many geeks and nerds.
Yes, that's true.
He made this by hand, and he makes them, and I want him to start selling his stuff. He is a very, very talented artisan. He makes stuff through his own home. He 3D prints this, and then he actually develops the palette, the way that it's painted, completely by hand. And he's super talented. He even printed the stand for it. So if you would like a Doomsday machine, or you would like something else that you can't buy in a store, and it is from Star Trek, you need to follow Mark D with a C on YouTube. You need to reach out to him on Twitter, and you need to get his information and ask him about your project. You can commission. I have commissioned him to make something for Clobby, which is in the works right now. He does take commissions. So please, if you want something, please get a hold of Mark. I would love to see him use his art more and use his talent more and be creative more, because he is very talented. I love seeing him make stuff. And best of all, Mark makes stuff that Clobby and I like stuff that you can't even get in the store. So reach out to him. If you want a Doomsday machine, do it.
I'm blushing right now. You can't see it, but yep. And but I just don't want to print too many because it could be dangerous. So that's the only thing.
You don't want to unleash that kind of power in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can probably start wrapping it up now unless you got anything else going on.
No, but
Clobby, can you yell it one time?
Which one?
Anaximanda Bear put it in the chat.
Oh, that? Pigs in space. I'd rather actually say Space Gold.
That's a classic. Oh yeah, Hungry Boy. Yeah, no, the good thing about the Doomsday Machine, it's kind of got a rough finish, so the 3D printing's good enough. I mean, you could do very rough sanding with sandpaper if you wanted. And then I just did painted, multiple coats, spray painted it. So, and then I did dry brushing technique to get the white. So you just take, white paint. Hungry Boy's an artist, so he knows what dry brushing is. But you let the paint kind of dry out, so it doesn't fill every nook and cranny. And then you dry brush, different colors over the top. And there's some metallic paint. It's a fun piece to do. So I've been practicing my painting. But yeah, if anyone wants Doomsday Machine, glad to oblige, and thank you for that plug, Raquel. Much appreciated.
Oh, no, not at all. That's not even a plug. That's me just being honest about how talented you are, how cool I think it is that you went and took this program and 3D printed it and just decided to just do this amazing work. I love it. And Pleasant Valley Picker is saying, is Mark the same guy that did the Doomcock figures? No, but he's in our circle as well. He's our friend. Yeah, that's Andy Masterson.
Yep.
You can get a hold of Andy Masterson on Andy Twitter. Masterson.
Yeah. Yepper. Well, everyone, I really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. We'll do a couple of show notes first. Mark, anything? Tell everybody what's going on with your channel.
I've got, of course, Sunday Night Geekery. So that's coming up on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
I'll be there.
And you'll be there. Thank you. And I'm trying to drop a video on my trip to Greenwich Car Show. I got a ton of photos. I did show a ton of them on Sunday Night Geekery, but I'm just going to probably do a slideshow in some of the videos and drop that. And maybe be some more enabling during the week. I did just enable for one of those Funko cons that there's a limited edition con. So if you like Funko Pops, Lauren likes.
Boo!
There's a cool con Funko Pop coming out, so that's the last video on my channel. So even if you don't like Funko Pops, if you could watch it, give me a like. And I do have a whole box of these that I just got. I got 12 of these. I got to do it on. Maybe I'll do the unboxing tomorrow. I don't know. I was going to ask Clobbering Times to come on to provide some good color commentary. Maybe.
Sure. I mean,
that might be fun. Yeah. So I got a box of
Mark.
Box of Funko Pops, the minis. Yep.
Oliver Belamonte says, "I hope Mark can make customized Star Trek weapons."
Yeah, that's something you can do. Yeah, for cosplay.
Is very impressed with the way that you've painted it. Just thinks it's beautiful. And BC, our very own Pleasant Valley Picker, says that he did not know you were a maker, and that he thinks it's really cool.
Oh, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Yep.
Indeed,
glad you guys like it. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, of course, everyone. Let's a little bit of a show note here before we say our goodbyes. Where were we? Oh yeah, Iconicon 2 Electric Boogaloo. I cannot wait for the great Retro Blasting channel. Of course, an extraordinary one. It is in their 10th anniversary season this year now for their great channel. Last year they put on Iconicon 1, the big one. Just Iconicon actually. Now here's the second one here, and this is coming up in July. Actually, end of June 30th. 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm honored to host, as I did last year, a comics-related panel. Because most of their panels, and they have tons of them. I'm going to get a schedule up soon. You can see all their great stuff they got lined up. It's amazing. And I'm so honored to be hosting the Toy Comics panel. My great friend Michael French will be there with me of Retro Blasting, of course. Jeff Barker of Chasing 80s Toys will be there. I think he's one of Scuba Beats' buddies, actually.
Yeah.
And, of course, Endless Bullets podcast will have Matt Swafford will join us, and it's going to be a great time. And, of course, all of Iconicon, so many great things are planned. That is a Thursday night. So the clubhouse that week will probably have to be moved to the Wednesday before that. But
it's okay. Dun, 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 dun.
They moved
Make
it
sure you go to
Special
Iconicon.
They moved it on. It was going to be a Friday, and then they moved it on me, and so sorry about that. But that will be a Thursday.
I'm playing on a billiards team. I might have to play league that night, but we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
If you do, fine. I guess we can skip that week.
No, I never want to skip a week. Well, we can reschedule, or we can do it early or late. But we'll talk about it off air. But boss, I wanted to tell you, our communications officer has reported for duty.
Hey, Jill! Just when we were getting out of here, but it was great to see you, Jill. I hope
you didn't miss much, Jill. We were flying by the seat of our pants tonight. I also talked like a nincompoop because my dogs completely disemboweled a brand new bed from Costco. I bought them. Like, the bed should be for a Great Dane. That's how big it is. It's an island. It's a Bahamian island. I bought them, and believe it or not, they completely gutted it while I was trying to talk tonight, on top of reporting a Sasquatch in the bay window. It was something. Yikes. And thus, I sounded like a complete idiot tonight.
No, we're ridiculous. No, you didn't. And we reviewed episodes 1 and 2 of The Orville next week. That's going to be a regular feature on the Clubhouse. We'll review each new episode a little bit, but we spoiler alert and all that stuff. We just talked briefly. We'll talk much, we talked briefly about those. Anyway, Saturday night Star Trek, of course. 4 more episodes. Getting close to the end of this drudgery. I mean, this show, sorry. Did I say that? So, yes, 4 more, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Trek time. Same Clobby channel. And Monday night, I'll have something comics related for you, as always. That is for sure. Let's see here. So that's what we got for our show notes. Unless you got anything, number one, we'll say our goodbyes now.
No, I just wanted to let everyone know. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everyone who wrenched for us this evening. I really appreciate it, especially with all the crap that's going on with bots just driving us up the wall. And you taking the time out to get rid of these, and speak of the devil, to get rid of these parasitic, horrible things. I just appreciate it so much. I want to thank everyone for their wonderful conversation. Thank you for helping to make this show so much fun, and just creating this wonderful community with us. I want to thank Clobby for creating this space for us. Nerds and geeks come here just to have a good time, to shoot the bull. It's just outstanding, and we just love you very much, Clobby. And Mark, go and support Mark's work. Also, I wanted to announce tonight that I have sold 175 copies of my stories.
Oh, nice.
Thanks to all of you. Now, I only make about 25 cents on them, so we're only talking $40, but that's not what I care about. It's never been about the money. It's been about you sharing this experience with me, getting my stories out there, and the fact that 175 people have read my stories makes me feel so good, and I want to thank you all for that. And I have a new story coming out. The story is Paul. It is with my editor right now. As soon as it is out, I will be launching it, and please watch for it on my Amazon Kindle page under RM Briggs. Love y'all. Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, and I just posted the Doomsday Machine build video. Raquel, I think that was you joined me on that one. That was a long. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but yep. So I posted the link in there if anyone wants to skim through that. Yep.
I always try and join you.
Thank you all, and congrats on that number one. That's fantastic, by the way. Thank you all, my wonderful friends, for being here with us tonight. The great Eric K was here, as always. The great Chris Berger, to the great amazing Wrenches. Thank you both so much. Phantom Outsider, thank you, buddy. You were let's see, I'm all the way back to the back, so I'll be able to get everybody, I hope. Comic Relief Crusader was here. Thank you so much, buddy. Let's see.
What?
Great J-Man. What?
Sorry, Jill, you've been advertising my work on your channel?
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
Jill, I love you. You have been such a great friend to me, to Clobby, to Mark, to everyone who you know. And I just love you and appreciate you so much. You are such a beautiful person, Jill.
when I was on with her the other day, but I keep forgetting I didn't talk to you at the same time. So
oh,
yes, wonderful.
I
Jill,
pop
you're
in
amazing.
on her channel because I want her to get the hit, and I want to share her channel on my Twitter, and then I also always make sure I hit the like button, right? So she gets the metric, but it can't always stay, right? And she's a mom, and so she's on a different schedule than me, but I absolutely love Jill. And if we were on the same schedule, I'd be sitting in the chair, hanging out with her every show she does. She's a beautiful person and is such a great Trekkie and such a great, great nerd girl.
Absolutely.
I love her.
Big time. Love you, Jill. And big shout out to Jill. Thank you so much. J-Man, the great J-Man, the great Decepticon. Love those guys. Amazing fellers. Could not be reached for further comment. Thank you. Gwagnar, thank you so much.
Gwagnar.
The great Kal-El, buddy. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here tonight, buddy. Phantom Outside. I think I said Phantom Outsider, but Fanty, thank you. That 70s rock fan was here earlier, buddy. We appreciate you, Kamloops. Just Joe Jobber was here for a while anyway. Yeah. Good to see Jobber. All right, brother. Let's see here. Just my vamping, dumbass vamping, annoying music. The great Hungry for Bad Writing that take a backseat, aka the masterful Hungry Boy. Hungry Boy, dude, thanks as always, buddy, for hanging out with us. We love you, man. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're a great friend of the channel. Captain James C. Skywalker was here. Thank you. Let's see here. Ezra Goldstein, thank you for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it. Pop Culture Curator, thank you for being here with us. Always great to have you. Michael Beacom was here earlier. Michael Beacom, hey.
And the missus.
And the missus. Shout out to you both. Mr. Tickle Truck, the great Mr. Tickle Truck was here earlier. Thank you. Yep. Larry.
Both Larrys were here.
Both Larrys were here. Good to
a
see
man
you,
so great. They call him twice.
They named him twice. Gotta love it. Hang on, everyone. Just making sure. Mackany Draws popped in. The extraordinary, great artist. Please check out this channel, by the way. Mackany Draws. Absolutely. Good to see you. I want to, by the way, shout out to the great Tom from Midnight's Edge for having me on before this show, by the way. I'm always honored to be on there. I don't mean to forget him. Yes, indeed. Well, I was on there with the Lovely Six. The great Culture Casino was there for a while. Valiant Renegade. It was a lot of fun. Great fellas. Nice. Great ladies and gentlemen there. Oliver Belamonte, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Pop Culture Republic was here tonight. Thank you, Pop Culture, for popping in. Nirat and Axamanda Bear, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Good night.
Hang on, everyone. We'd like to get Polymies Minion and the Pepperoni were here.
The
Pepperoni. Okay. We got most people. We're just going to be thorough here. Why not? When it's so easier, much easier when you have it written down.
Yep.
Like I do on Saturday night.
We don't want to miss people, though.
No, you don't. Anyway, I think I got most of them, but we're going to be sure. Tim's Talk, thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, Tim's
again,
Talk
the great dad man, our good buddy. Happy birthday, a late happy birthday again to you, my friend. Always great to have you popping in here. Yes. I can't remember. Certain people, it kind of blends together. Oh, the great Cardinal Sin was here tonight.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
thank you for your contribution, Cardi.
And thank you for supporting CLOBBERIN channel and CLOBBERIN show with that generous gift. Very kind of you.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate
Did we mention our wonderful Chris Persia and Eric?
Oh,
Cade?
yes. Oh, yes. I mentioned them first.
Our guys.
First. Absolutely-ishness. Absolutely-ishness. Everybody's mentioned so far, so we can just get in there, folks. Matthew Pounder was in. All right, Matthew Pounder.
Matthew Pounder.
Yeah. A lot of good friends popped in here tonight. Want to make sure
Pleasant Valley Picker, usually he does write down the names, but it's just we do that for Saturday night Star Trek, but it tends to spill over into our other shows just because Clobby, you're not just a number or just an avatar to Clobby. and certainly not to me or even Mark. Each and every single person behind that name, your voice is important to us, and we respect and appreciate you being a part of this community. So he definitely tries whenever he has a chance. Shout them all out.
J25 and the great Snail Messiah. Thank you. When we have the time, we do it. You know, if it was one thing, if we had to get out of here quick, but you know, we like to get that. We really like to acknowledge you all, like as number one said. You know, because we really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to us. Mazeras was here. Maze. All right, Maze. Because you never know. We do still miss people sometimes, I'm sure, but not for lack of trying to get everyone. You know.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes. Almost there, folks. I promise. I think almost there. Stay on target. Almost there. You're too close. Well, yep. I think I got pretty much everyone, but we just want to be thorough here.
Good night, Eric. Mwah, mwah. And Eric, thank you so much for supporting this show all the time. You're so generous with the super chats and, you know, just wrenching and just all the things you say and all the things you do. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you, buddy. Really, thank you too, man. You do so much, and I could never repay you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
you're the man.
You're the best, honey.
Zacharat and Pleasant Valley Picker. Thank you for being here as well. I don't know if I mentioned Oliver Belamonte, but I'll mention him again because we appreciate Oliver. I think because I wasn't sure if I did or not. You know, I do forget things. And so I think we pretty much got it. We got Tim's talk, and then I think I mentioned him already. Yeah, I think that's about it. We're about to run out of here, folks. So thank you all for being here with us tonight. We truly appreciate it. And we will see you next here. What happened?
Everyone go watch the Orville again.
Nothing. I'm just putting things up on the screen for Eric because I love him.
All right, folks.
Oh, do you have to close the poll?
No,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, I did need to close the
poll.
poll.
Yeah. We have to do the poll.
End the poll. All right, folks. Let's do the poll. It's a good call, engineer.
Thank you.
I got to find it.
In the meantime, look on the marquee.
What? Someone has to support CLOBBERIN Wesley. Oh, I don't need to see that.
Yeah, I think he was asking me to make him a 3D printed Funko of Wesley.
Oh, that's boy. True. Are you kidding? CLOBBY with a Funko that's Wesley? Yeah. That would make his head explode.
Where's my poll? Damn it.
It's right there. Yeah, it shows it. Yeah,
I can't find it. Oh, there he goes. Finally. Because my chat's so backed up. All right. So, again, finishing up, it shows 28 votes. Yes, 60% loved it. 25% liked it. It was so-so to 14% and good, at least 0 to don't like it. So that's promising. We like that. We like hearing that. So anyone, thank you, everyone. We will play our end credits now after these important messages. Good night, everybody. Hope to see you. Have a great weekend and hope to see you at Saturday Night Star Trek. Good night. Good night. Good night.
For you, Mr. Worf, I would love to explore Klingon memories. Klingons do not allow themselves to be probed. I protest. I am not a merry man.
Crap, 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 crap.